I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target!
Many since
Thank you, Jeff. Holy cow. He black. Dang it. That was a good cold open too. El no son de muno. Dang it. How did I do that? Now the second opening is not going to be as good. Guys, we got a whole lot of stuff today. Thank you for coming in. Help us hit the super chat goal, $50 super chat goal, or Cash App, Dreaded Conservative. Cashapp. We got a show today. Lots of stuff. I was on mute. I already did my cold open. Now I got to say everything again. And I'm trying to go quickly today because we need to stop by 8:45. Probably we need to stop by like 8:30. Let's see. How about Rome, huh? How cool is she, right? Yeah, totally. That's what I was saying. That is exactly what I was saying. You can read lips. Awesome. Dang it. Dang, that was a good opening too. All right, let's start again. Fires. The whole world's on fire. The whole west side of the country's on fire. We got that. We got Biden's last-ditch efforts to ruin Trump's presidency before he even gets into office with weird policies, garbage policies before he leaves office. And then these two stories could be main story news, but we got so much fire stuff to talk about that I put them into rapid fire news, and we're going to have to go really quickly through them. Justin Trudeau resigning as Prime Minister of Canada. Wild. Old blackface himself decided to dip. He's like making threats to Trump, and then he resigns. What a bitch. And then the Zuckerberg meta changes. That will be in rapid fire. We'll have to go real quickly through that. There's some videos that I wish we could sit and watch the whole thing, but I have to be at work by 10 o'clock. So I need to leave here by 9 o'clock. So I need to end the show by like 8:30 so that I can walk Echo and then leave. I'm not in my nice, show uniform. I'm not dressed up for the show because I'm just basically in my work clothes. So we got to do this quick because there's a lot of stuff to cover. And then the final segment and this is important too, but I don't even know if I'm going to have time to get to all of it. Trump, imperialist or what's the word? Isolationist. Are the lefties fear that Trump is some imperialist, mustache man who's going to take over the world and never leave office? Are their fears coming true as Trump threatens to conquer Greenland, Panama, Canada? Next thing you know, we're taking over Australia, if it's even real. Africa. Crystal Strange is going to love it when Trump takes over Africa. Lots of stuff to cover today. I got to go really quick. Let's get right into it right now. Where's my articles? Here we go. Okay. Let's just get right into this. I got to go quick. I can't even read all this stuff, but we're going to skim through full coverage of the fires, everything that happened, what we know, watch some videos, and then we're going to talk about problems in California that could have led to this, specifically DEI and green energy policies. And then, what else? How did they start? It's the gays. The victims, the damages, all that stuff. We're going to go over it. So let's get right into it. California wildfires, what we know about LA. This is from NBC. LA area fires, maps, what caused them, who was affected, and more. Fueled by powerful winds and dry conditions, a series of ferocious wildfires erupted Tuesday and roared across the Los Angeles area. And then they repeat it again. Fueled by dry conditions, a series of ferocious wildfires. Why are you repeating the same thing again? NBC, this is bad writing. Some who died trying to prevent fires from engulfing their homes. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Your house is not worth your life. I know some people aren't going to make it if they don't have a house, but come on. You can go to you don't want to go to a California homeless shelter. I stayed in a California homeless shelter once. I stayed in a Holiday Inn Express too. Woke up, everything was great. I stayed in a homeless shelter in Madeira, California once. Not exactly the same. It was rough. What up, Chris? You hear Trump's taking over Africa? No, I'm kidding. That's not happening. It would be cool, though. I digress. A Los Angeles County fire official said an untold number of significant injuries were linked to 2 of the fires, and a city official in Los Angeles described Tuesday night as one of the most devastating and terrifying that she had ever seen in the corner of the city. And I don't think she's wrong, because we're going to show you some pictures of the aftermath, and it looks like freaking the game Fallout over there. It looks like Iraq or something after they drop bombs on it. It looks crazy over there. And it's not good, you know. You guys know I'm a sociopath. I don't feel empathy or sympathy or anything like that. You can't be empathetic or sympathetic without being pathetic. But for you normal people, you know, pray for the people who lost their homes, pray for the people that lost their lives, their families and all that stuff. But even though it's horrible for the victims, we're not here to cry about the victims. We're here to call out the people who are responsible for this. And it's not just God, because fires happen. There are preventative measures that could have been taken to reduce the amount of damage done by fires. Yes, fires happen. Wildfires happen, especially in dry climates and things like this. It happens. But what about the dang flammable eucalyptus trees from Australia? What about the DEI policies and the green energy policies that make preventing these things from getting so out of control easier? They don't do it. So we're going to get into all that, but you know, for the normal people, for the ladies in the chat, you guys can feel the empathy for me. All right? You guys feel a little extra empathy for me, because I don't feel it. You know? What up, Chris? Crew. This is looking worse and worse the more information we get. Climate scientists, we need a climate scientist to tell us about fires. Climate scientist Daniel Swain said, here's what we know about the fires. Palisades fires erupted Tuesday morning in Pacific Palisades, a Los Angeles neighborhood east of Malibu, as a brush fire. The blaze had grown to more than 23,713 acres by Sunday night, according to California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, known as CAL FIRE. It was 14% contained. Then basically just say not contained. 14% contained. What do you got, like a little corner of it? You put a fence around a corner of it or something? What'd you do? 14% contained. What does that even mean? And CAL FIRE said the fire likely damaged or destroyed 5,316 structures. The Eaton fire, dang, there's another one. I knew about the Eaton and the Palisades, but there's also the Hearst fire. The Eaton fire ignited Tuesday night near a canyon in the sprawling national forest lands north of downtown Los Angeles. It had exploded to 14,117 acres by... Okay, this is a bad writing. It had exploded to 14,117 acres by and was 33% contained by Monday. Bad writing. Get some editors, NBC. I don't know how they get away with this. AI is probably right. No, AI wouldn't have such bad English. But the agency said more than 7,800 structures were likely damaged or destroyed in the blaze. Now, this article is from, I feel this is fairly recently. But how are they, like, the fires aren't even over yet, right? They've got them mostly contained by now. This is from the 13th, so maybe most of it's, if you only got 33% contained, there's going to be more damage. I pay my mustache rent to wear it. So it doesn't, so you don't live rent-free in your head. It lives rent-free on your head. I don't know. The Hearst fire started Tuesday night in Silmar, a suburban, I don't know if I said that right, Silmar, a suburban neighborhood north of San Fernando, as a brush fire. As of Saturday night, it had expanded to 799 acres and was 95% contained, according to California Fire. CAL FIRE said 2 structures were likely damaged or destroyed in the fire. So that's probably the smallest of the 3. As firefighters were battling the largest blazes, additional fires broke out Wednesday and Friday in the Los Angeles area. Crews were able to stop the forward spread and contain the blazes. As of Sunday evening, the Lydia, Archer, Woodley, Sunset, and Kenneth fire. There's more? There's more? Were 100% contained and no longer considered active, according to CAL FIRE. Between the fires scorched 1,539 acres. Here's a map of the fire damage for you. Where's my camera? There it is. Okay. Palisades fires, 23,000. So let's zoom out here. Zoom out. So there's a whole bottom left corner right by Los Angeles. It got close to Freddie. Freddie was feeling the heat. I saw the other day it said it was pulling up on Hollywood. The fires were pulling up on Hollywood. I don't know if it ever reached Hollywood Boulevard, but did it burn the Hollywood sign down? Because I seen a video. I'm talking like a dummy. I saw a video where the Hollywood Hills sign had fire behind it. Did it ever hit the, did it burn down the Hollywood signs? What about the observatory? Anyway, we will talk about the victims here later and the injuries, the damage. We'll talk about all that later. So let's move on to our next article. Or let's watch a little video, some clips, clip action. See some of this. This is earlier in the week. This is from 4 days ago from ABC. Ravi Baishwara. Let's watch this.
Spreading sunset fire in the Hollywood Hills has sparked an evacuation for a very heavily populated area of the city. And this is the latest fire. It is prompting an aggressive response and leading to more fears for an already devastated area. Fire crews tonight desperately trying to get a handle on multiple wildfires burning around Los Angeles.
Dang.
We have strike teams committed from all over the state and as far as Arizona coming to assist us.
People living here in disbelief.
Wait, that's not the fire chief. Where's the lesbian? We're going to talk about the lesbian fire chief. Oh, did that? Dude, what's up with this mic? I got to figure this out.
So much of their community simply turned to destruction.
Furniture that we've, built a lifetime upon, photos, just everything.
Churches have burned, all the schools have burned, the markets, the gas stations.
Dang. This is ring video from Malibu showing the flames raging right outside of a home.
Looked like a transformer explode just now.
The rush to escape as these fires.
Dude, that looked like hot lava. That looked like liquid hot molten magma. Liquid hot molten magma. But it was just like sparks and embers.
Been proving to be dangerous.
Get out of here, captions.
Shooting out into the road. All of the trees were on fire. I was riding, I had my helmet on, and there were branches and embers hitting me.
Residents simply shocked by the scale of the damage.
It's Armageddon. I'm driving through a war zone right now, and I don't even know.
Yeah, get out of there, lady. What are you doing? You're
now,
old.
All these fires spreading so fast tonight, especially that Palisades fire.
That's wild.
Drone
Look at
video
that.
Here showing the extensive damage that the fire.
Speaking of drone videos, we told Freddie to go fly his drone around and get some footy, but they are, you get in trouble if you do that because apparently I don't know if it was like a water dropping plane or some sort of surveillance plane flying over the fires got downed from a drone. Unapproved drone was flying around. So somebody was flying their drone around, probably getting some footy for the tube, for the gram, and a plane hit a drone and the plane went down. That's wild. It must have been a big drone or a small plane.
Already has caused, and we have an animation for you showing how quickly this situation has evolved. Let's take a look now. This is a satellite view of some homes near the origin point of that fire, and as we zoom out, you can see just how much this fire has grown. Dang. This over just the past day and a half. Judy,
watch breaking.
That's wild. Okay, we got one more clip we're gonna check out from Fox.
if she's okay. You have to put yourself in these people's shoes. And
What up, Martha?
Our chief correspondent, Jonathan Hunt, live on the
Look at this
ground
guy.
in Pacific Palisades. Hi,
This guy looks like he's going to play paintball.
Jonathan.
Hey, Mark.
The drone won.
Apocalyptic
Yeah, the
and
drone won
hell
that one.
on having spent hours up here now, those are entirely
I fought the drone and the drone won.
accurate and justifiable descriptions. Here's a part of that hell on earth and apocalyptic scenes. We're in the heart of the Pacific Palisades here, and this
That's probably
home after home after home. Business.
I bet you that's more dangerous than on the ground reporting from a hurricane. Like, I'll drive into a hurricane and get some footy, but going up in a fire like that, well, I guess if everything's already burnt down, you know, the fire is not going to spread towards you. But if you like go into one of these fires, and you're Martha aging like fine wine. If you try to go into one of these fireplaces to get some, like, do some reporting on the ground, reporting from a fire, the fire can quickly move and like circle around you, and you'd be screwed.
After business, local area schools as well. They
be toasty roasted. All right, this is all glitchy, so we're not going to play it. We got footage of the aftermath later, and that's all they're showing us. Let's skip ahead a bit.
So they're dampening everything that they can, but you've got a limited amount of firefighters.
And what about a limited amount of water? We're going to talk about that soon. Apparently, fire hydrants aren't working. There's video, which I was not able to grab any clips. I had to throw this all together real quick this morning before I went to bed. But I've seen videos of firefighters using traffic cones, like the orange traffic cones, which they usually have a hole in the bottom, on the top of them. But I guess these ones don't. They're flipping them upside down, scooping water and throwing it on the fire. They're using women's purses. I saw one, they were using a woman's like a Louis Vuitton bag, and they're scooping water and throwing it on the fires. Why? Because the hydrants aren't working. A lot of the hydrants are dead. They're not working. Why? Because of green energy policies that restrict the amount of water that people in California can use. And we'll talk about all that here in a moment.
And a limited amount of resources to do all of this work. So they're saving everything they can. But you get these gusts, Martha, and I'd say we've been in the middle of a lot of them today. And they just whip up. They're 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. They pick up embers from a fire like that, the one we were just showing you, and they shift it down there, down to that house down that street. So the firefighters can damp down these houses, but if the winds suddenly shift and go back behind me over there, then those houses are going to catch fire.
You're going to catch on fire if the wind shift, my boy.
It really is a whack-a-mole game, and a deadly and dangerous one. And like I say, the firefighters are doing extraordinary, heroic work, but they simply cannot save every home as this fire continues to rip through what is, after all, Martha,
look at this guy just riding his bike around.
Residential neighborhood of Los Angeles. We're not out in the sticks.
Pee Wee Herman out here having a big adventure while there's a fire blazing.
Here. We're not 30, 40, 50 miles from the city. We are in LA. The houses are packed close, and there's a limit to what those firefighters can do.
All right. So that's wild. Let's get some info into what are some potential causes for this. First, from The Guardian, look at this headline. In utterly unsurprising news, MAGA blames diversity for the Los Angeles wildfires. And this is from a journalist named Arwa Mahadawi. Is there any white people in freaking media anymore that isn't like in any mainstream media? I don't think so. Elon Musk, one of the brightest minds of his generation, is saying it, so it must be true. Okay, whatever. We've been saying this for years. Alex Jones has been saying this for 25 years. Well, he's talking about the green energy stuff more specifically, but lots of people have been talking about this for years. I've heard people say Trump predicted it. Joe Rogan predicted it when he said it 6 months ago. Bro, I heard people saying this 4 years ago and 5 years ago, earlier than that. Probably a looter. You could be right. There's probably a lot of that going on. Women, They're simply not to be trusted. Eve ate that apple. Pandora opened that horrible little box. And now women are to blame for the she opened her box up? What the? And Pandora's a slut. Devastating wildfires in California. I know that sounds like a ridiculous thing to say, but it's what Elon Musk, one of the brightest minds of this generation and one of the most powerful people on earth, is saying, so it must be true. According to Mark Zuckerberg, another of the world's greatest thinkers, fact-checking is now passé. Well, that's irrelevant. Still, I'm going to be terribly old-fashioned and fact-check myself here. Obviously, I'm being facetious when I say that Musk is blaming the wildfires on women. No, we're blaming diversity, equity, and inclusion policies that don't let places like fire stations do their job properly because they're more focused on hiring gay women than they are on putting out fires. The firemen now have to be fire dykes, which is interesting because a dike is also a word for like a dam that holds back water. And they don't got no water because of all the dikes. Sounds about right. Hey, I just made that up. On Wednesday, for example, Musk took some time out from excessively tweeting about whether the USA should liberate. Bro, this lady's just going off topic. She just hates Elon. This is a bad article. I just wanted to show you, like, you know, they're running countermeasures or counter efforts to the narrative that the right is like saying, hey, we told you all this DEI crap. Police forces aren't as good. Freaking your local McDonald's isn't ran as good because instead of hiring the best people for the job, you have a diversity quota that you have to meet. You have to have a certain number of gay, lesbian, black women with penises. And that's why nothing is good. You pay more and you get less. You pay more, it takes longer, you get less. Nothing is as efficient because not because women suck at everything, but because instead of just hiring the best people for a job, you have to meet your diversity quota. And we got some memes. There's I don't know if it's real, but there's like this giant black woman trying to put out a fire. And I think it's a real picture. Their police chief is a lesbian. But so that's what Guardian's saying. Now let's look at some of this. Now this is from Berkeley, California. I know Berkeley is not in LA. It's up near Oakland. But here's just an example. And this is an article from April 29th of 2024 from Berkeley Side. Nonprofit news, free for all, funded by the readers. Only 9% of Berkeley firefighters are women. The fire department wants to change that. BFD hosted a First in Fire camp over the weekend, giving women who may be interested in firefighting and other emergency service work a taste of the job. Now, here's the picture. We got a mannequin, hammock-in the cabana. Mannequin, hammock in the cabana. I'm doing all this stand-up banner with a mannequin, panicking, trying to drag it through the flanagan. We got a bunch of women trying to drag a mannequin. How much you think that thing weighs? 150 pounds? You got to drag it 100 yards. That's probably they probably had like a fitness quota. You got to be able to drag this 180-pound mannequin 200 yards. If you can't do it, you can't be a firefighter. And you see these women trying to drag the mannequin. They're panicking while they're dragging a mannequin. It's not working. Twerking, barking, berserking. Sorry, I listened to Logic and Eminem the other day, and now it's stuck in my head. Berkeley Fire Department is looking to hire more women firefighters and paramedics. Why? How about you just hire the people who can do the job the best? Why do we need to focus on hiring more women? You know, maybe if the women were focused on cooking, starting fires in the kitchen instead of putting out fires in the wilderness, we wouldn't have such a problem here. Okay, so there's Berkeley doing it now, and they're not the only ones who did it. That's just an example. You know, we got from The Advocate. The Advocate. You know, if the news organization is called The Advocate, what are you advocating for? Degeneracy. That's what they advocate. Personiquin. Oh, yeah. It's gender neutral mannequin. Gender neutral mannequin. Mannequin used to be a man, and then I turned into a woman without a hand, and then lamping in the cabana, doing all the stand-up banner. Okay, look, check this out. LA's lesbian fire chief battles blazes and bigots. Guys, if we call out the fact that diversity and equity and inclusion is retarded, we're bigots. You're a bigot. Because you don't want... Dude, this is a masculine looking lesbian. Dude, can I zoom in? How do I zoom in? I figured it out before. What is it? Control and... Yeah, look at that. Look at that zoom action. Whoa. We're going to have to zoom out. By continuing to use our site, you agree to our privacy and terms of use? I guess. Just to get this pop-up off. Get this out of here. Look at that. It's a man, baby. No, it's just a masculine woman. That's the fire chief. LA fire chief. First lesbian fire chief. Maybe if we focused more on, strong people who can drag, pick up people and put them on their shoulder. It's called a fireman's carry, where you throw somebody up over your shoulder and you run with them. I wonder how long this lady can do a fireman's carry for with a 200-pound person on their shoulders. Probably not very long. And this is the fire chief. Almost looking like a man. He looked like a man. Los Angeles' first out LGBTQ plus LGBT low IQ STD fire chief, Kristen Crowley, leads by example in the fight against multiple apocalyptic fires. They keep calling it an apocalyptic scene, apocalyptic fires. I don't know if they know what the apocalypse is, but it's not the loss of LA, just so you know. That is not an apocalyptic fire. It would have to be everywhere in the world for it to be an apocalyptic fire. The stereotype of lesbians always being prepared for an emergency. Lesbians are always prepared. I've never heard that stereotype. Has anybody ever heard that stereotype before? Everyone knows a queer woman who doesn't leave the house without a Leatherman multi-tool and carabiners. What the? Is this real? I haven't read this yet. Everyone knows a queer woman who doesn't leave the house without a Leatherman multi-tool and carabiners. Looking like Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger. She just comes out with work boots on, carabiners, and a tool belt. Carpet munch in emergencies. Oh, man, this is so crazy. Holds true for Los Angeles' first openly LGBT low IQ STD. Fire Chief Kristen Crowley, who is overseeing the firefighters trying to stop the Palisades fire. As of Wednesday morning, more than 5,000 acres in the affluent, celebrity-inhabited neighborhood of Pacific Palisades in Southern California has been consumed by fire. We already know this. I want to talk about the lesbian. The Palisade fire. Okay. This has led to Crowley facing growing backlash on social media, where conservatives are taking cheap digs at her appearance and are claiming she's a DEI hire and isn't qualified for the position. Yeah, I want to see how long she can run with a 200-pound person on her shoulders. That's what I want to see. I don't care if she eats box. I don't care if she likes to scissor. I want to know how long she can run in the heat with smoke in her face and full gear and mask and an oxygen tank, holding an axe with a 200-pound person on her shoulders. I want to see how far she can run with all that. I don't care about her scissor skills, okay? Sorry. It's not because I'm a bigot. It's just because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can put out some crotch fires. Scissor. Caesar. Crowley already had multiple decades of experience. When she was nominated for her position in 2022, she had been with the fire department for 22 years and held the position of firefighter, paramedic, engineer, fire inspector, a captain, battalion chief, assistant chief, fire marshal, and deputy chief. Wow, she's decorated. She's a decorated lesbian. She also ranked in the top 50 out of 16,000 applicants when she took her firefighter's exam in the late 90s, according to Newsweek. Is that a paper exam or is that like a physical exam? I mean, she could be jacked. She could be an exception to the rule. Bumping beavers. Bro, you know, a little dry scissoring might cause some friction that could lead to a fire. You got to be careful about that. Conservative actor James Wood has also expressed his frustration with Crowley, taking a jab at her LAFD bio, which lists her priorities as creating, supporting, and promoting a culture that values diversity, inclusion, and equity, while striving to meet and exceed the expectations of communities. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a dude, actually, in which case, that's probably why they were able to do all the physical stuff. Woods took to X to voice his opinion. Refilling the water reservoirs would have been a welcome priority too, but I guess she had too much on her plate promoting diversity. Facts, James Woods. Santa Ana winds. Yeah, they said this started because there was one of the biggest windstorms that LA had seen. 100-mile-per-hour winds was knocking over power lines. What are they called? Transformers were exploding. And they're saying that's what started the fire. But the interesting thing is, remember the Canada wildfires? And I showed the video of the satellite image of when the fires started. And like 5 fires, it's green, 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 green. And all of a sudden at the same time, from like 5 different places, fires spring up. And there was a lot of speculation about, wait, they all just started at the exact same time? Well, the same thing happened here. If you look at satellite images, like these 3 fires just start at the same time. Now, I'm not going to get too conspiratorial on this one. I don't know that it's space lasers. I don't know that it's, crackhead hobos tweaking in the woods, lighting their pipes and starting campfires and nodding out while the fire gets out of control. I don't know that it's all those things. Could be, but I don't know. But it does make sense if it's a dry time, heavy winds, a transformer explodes, a power line gets downed. You know, it makes sense that that could be how these fires started. But so we're not going to get too conspiratorial on this one, but it just is interesting they all pop up at the same time in the satellite videos. A little more on the diversity before we get into the green energy garbage. From Los Angeles Daily News, LA County female firefighters want their own uniforms, not ill-fitting male gear. They're more focused on their apparel. Guys, I want... Can we get this in pink? I don't like this. I don't want to look like a man. I need this in pink. Do you have a skirt that I could wear with this? Maybe a handbag? They're complaining about the uniforms. This is what happens every time they do this DEI crap. Remember they had the women fighter pilots that are like, we need pregnancy flight suits. We need different. I don't like the way it looks. We need pregnancy. What if I get pregnant and I have to fly a fighter jet into battle? I need a pregnancy flight suit. Well, the same thing with the firefighters. They're more focused on what the uniform looks like than they are on how to do the job. There was one lady firefighter at my dad's fire station in the 90s. Not sure if she was any good or anything, but she was pretty fit and not a lesbian. Yeah, I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule, you know. And I think we have this article here is 50 years of women in firefighting. I'm not saying women can't be firefighters, you know, but for 50 years, we've had women firefighters, women firemen, without having to focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Why can't women who want to be firefighters go get strong and then go become firefighters? Why do we need to have government political policies to force fire stations and firefighter groups or whatever, force them to hire more women? We've been hiring women firefighters for 50 years. There are ladies that can do the job. And we need people to answer the phones, you know? We need somebody to make the coffee at the fire station. We need somebody to cook breakfast at the fire station. Totally good place, you know, for a woman. But the problem is not women firefighters. The problem is diversity, equity, and inclusion policies that make them have to hire more women instead of just hiring the best person for the job. Oh, this article was written on October 16th. That's my birthday. Women have been involved in fire service for hundreds of years in the United States. Without DEI, we still had women firefighters for hundreds of years. So, one of the first known women who served as a firefighter was Molly Williams. She got the job without DEI. Isn't that interesting? Who was held in slavery by a member of the Oceanus Engine Company, number 11 in New York City, and served with that crew admirably. Wait, we were making slaves fight fires? I know they had bucket duty, but we had women slaves fighting fires? 100 years? When is this? Early 1800s? When did slavery end? I don't freaking know. I used to love answering the phone and making coffee. Right. That's a great duty. It's necessary. We need that. Slow but steady change. A lot of women have become firefighters. In 1974, there was one single function career female firefighter in the United States. Based. Only one? Nice. Her name is Judy Brewer. You know why they call her Judy Brewer? Because she made the coffee. She brewed the coffee. By 1980, that was a good setup. Thank you. You know, sometimes the jokes just happen on their own. By 1980, there were 200 women firefighters in 1980. Today, according to the NFPA, there are around 15,000 women serving as career firefighters and an additional 78,000 who are volunteers. Laws, but still not that many. Those numbers sound impressive, but women still only account for 4% of career firefighters and 11% of volunteers. Additionally, there is not a trend of women increasing in numbers in the service. Okay, what's wrong with that? If that's the case, maybe it's because women don't want to fight fires. On average, most women don't want to be firemen. Duh. Just like they don't want to work on an oil rig. What happens when they're like, we need more women crab fishermen? We need more women roofers. And we need more women oil rig workers. We need more women paving the roads. Like, what? You know, maybe it's just because they don't want to do the job. Because that's not typically something that women like to do. It's not that complicated. And when are we going to start complaining about we need more men teachers and we need more men nurses? But DEI doesn't care about men. And I think that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm just saying it's kind of interesting the way it only goes. It's kind of one-sided, huh? Dang, it's already 6:44. We got to get through this. Fire departments are more family friendly. The Pregnancy Discrimination Act, the PDA of 1978 and the Family and Medical Leave of 1993 made combining family and firefighting more realistic for women. Oh my gosh. So while you're fighting fires, you can be pregnant. You got 2 kids at home and you're pregnant, and we're going to send you into a burning building to rescue people. That sounds great. Sounds like a great idea. Let's push that. So stupid. So stupid. Fire departments have reconsidered grooming standards. When women were first hired as career firefighters, some departments required that they meet existing grooming standards for men on the job, which sometimes included military-style haircuts. You know why that is, guys? You know why they want their hair short when you're a firefighter? Because hair is flammable. Your hair is flammable. We don't need a long-haired woman who just got a perm and has a bunch of flammable hairspray in her hair fighting a fire. That's why they shave their head, so their head doesn't catch on fire. What is going on in the world? Got to bounce. Good luck. Later, Chris. I don't believe in luck. Luck is when hard work meets opportunity. What up, Lord Spike? Okay. So that's the DEI stuff. Before we move on to the green energy crap,
poor little
let's check this video out. This is the real cause of the fires right here.
girl who was...
Fire happening right now.
Say that again?
Why is there a fire happening right now?
There are multiple fires that are taking place.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the news though. You're supposed to know.
Well, I don't know how it started. We don't know how it started. There, you know,
I think
winds.
it's all the gay people in LA.
Okay.
I think it's all the gay people in LA.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Unforgivable. Me and my ninja bowl vice went to Chick-fil-A, someplace in the mall. Unforgivable. They said unacceptable. Unacceptable. I think it's all the gays. I think the fires are started because of all the gays in LA. That's what that guy said. That was funny. All right. What is this? Download this PDF. I don't want to download the PDF. California State Water Resources Control Board adopts permanent water conservation regulations. So this is the green energy stuff. This is the, you know, we've been saying this for years. Trump said it on Joe Rogan's show. He said it at his things. Lots of conservative pundits have been saying this for years. Control burns and brush management. Trimming the brush. Getting out the dead foliage. Control burns, or what they call prescribed fires. These are isolated fires that are used to burn areas that are getting too overgrown in a controlled manner so they don't spread, so that way unprescribed fires or uncontrolled burns don't begin. You do controlled burns. And it's good for, they say, I was watching, what Corridor Crew needs to stick to, they need to stick to making special effects videos and stay away from the social commentary, because they did a video where they went up to the top of a mountain to film the fires. And they're like, you know, all these people that are saying it's not because of controlled burns, they're just dummies. They don't know what they're talking about. Look at all this brush. You can't trim all of it. And if you do, the wildlife struggles. No, dummy. No, dummy. Fires are a natural thing that happen to clear out things so that wildlife can grow. It's a good thing. That's a good thing. The fires are a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, animals and plants understand that fires happen, and it's a good thing. It clears out new land, and they start again. They move, and then they come back. They're not like humans where they build mansions. How can you stop DEW? DEW? DEI, you mean? It's the gays. What up, Stubborn One? What up, Tommy? Sorry I muted you the other night. Once you get to a certain drunkenness level, you just start going, F slur, and nobody can talk, so I had to mute you. Sorry about it. Actually, I'm not sorry. But in the past decade, California has endured 2 multi-year droughts that have led to temporary restrictions on water use. Yeah, bullshit. The temporary restrictions were lifted when drought conditions eased in an effort to ensure sufficient water supplies for future dry periods. The California legislature passed 2 bills, AB 1668 and SB 606 in 2018, which mandate water conservation measures on a permanent basis. The legislation set out of a new long-term water use framework for urban water suppliers in California and called for the California State Water Resources Control Board, the SWRCB, to adopt implementing regulations for the following: indoor residential water use, outdoor residential water use, landscaping irrigation, and water loss. On July 3rd, 2024, the SWRCB adopted the required implementing regulations. Although the regulations go into effect on January 1st of 2025, No water use restrictions will be enforced until 2027. But they were already had water use restrictions since 2018, so that's not true. The regulations do not directly restrict water use by individuals or businesses, and they do not apply to suppliers of irrigation. Well, then how come there's no water in the hydrants, i.e. non-potable water? That means poo water, gray water. Suppliers with fewer than 3,000 connections to those that supply less than 3,000 acre feet of water per year. The regulations will apply to approximately 405 urban water suppliers, including cities, water districts, and private water companies that supply approximately 95% of California's population with potable water. However, many of these suppliers are already carrying out water conservation efforts that meet the regulatory standards. So some green energy stuff, some restricting the water use in California, even though you have mountain reservoirs that you're not using. You have, and Dee mentioned the other night something about desalination of water is expensive. He's right, but you don't need to desalinate the water to put out a fire. But the problem is pumping water uphill from the ocean is a lot harder than taking water, letting it flow downhill from a reservoir. Takes a lot more energy, takes a lot more, just pumping power, and probably not good for the environment to use all these, pumps that are pumping water uphill. It's a lot easier to let it flow downhill like it naturally does, but they're not that smart in California because look at their leadership. Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom. These people are retarded, okay? Let's see what Newsweek is saying. How red tape strangled California forest management before the LA fire. So water restrictions, controlled burns, brush clearing. Like Trump said, you just got to get a rake, Joe. They just need like a big rake, and they just go out there and rake it up. Rake up the forest, rake up the mountains. But they don't do it, Joe. They don't do it. Yeah, I was reading. It's just as a bad area to support heavily growing communities. Whoa, what the heck is this? As wildfires continue to burn out of control across Los Angeles, questions have turned to why and how California authorities allowed the perfect conditions, extremely dry, uncleared forests, hillsides, and brush to proliferate during an already dangerous fire season made worse by Santa Ana wind event that hits the area with relative frequency. And they say the corridor crew guys are like, it's impossible to clean up all these mountains of all the brush. It's just impossible. You can't do it. Well, you got all those illegal immigrants. Why don't you let them do it? Send the Mexicans out there. They'll rake it up. They'll clean it up. Put them in a line and say, go that way. Clean up the crap. All the dead brush, rake it up. Clean it out. Put them to work. But no, they just want to give them money and let them sit in a hotel in New York, ship them to Florida and Texas and Utah, all the red states. Leave them in California, let them clear the brush. Gotta plant house seeds. Oh, they smart, evil. Yeah, they're smart, just evil. I don't know. I think they are kind of like Karen Bass is not a smart woman. I don't think. Well, before those dangerous conditions aligned and sparked massive blazes that tore through some of LA's most affluent neighborhood. By affluent, they mean rich Diddy party goers. That's what affluent means now. The region was already a tinderbox, in part to a lack of prescribed fires, also known as controlled burns. Those are fires intentionally set by forest managers to reduce hazardous fuels like brush, dead trees, and other highly flammable materials. The main benefit of prescribed fires is to reduce the risk of unwanted fires in the future. According to the Forest Service, an agency of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the reason California hasn't conducted more of these controlled burns comes down to existing environmental laws in the U.S. that have posed bureaucratic obstacles to prescribed fires. It often takes years for proposals to go through reviews before any controlled burning can actually take place. This is Newsweek. They're fact checkers. Tahara Girari Tahara Jiharari, the director of economic analysis at the tech-aligned Chamber of Progress, told Newsweek that while there are several factors that could have mitigated the fires in Los Angeles, if prescribed fires had been conducted at the rate they should have, the damage would have been lessened. Facts. At least 5 fires covering more than 45 square miles have burned in Los Angeles area this week, destroying thousands of structures and leading to at least 5 deaths. We have a more updated number on the deaths here in a moment. Palisades fire, which has already become the most destructive fire in Los Angeles history, has burned through more than 17,000 acres, making it larger than the size of Providence, Rhode Island. Well, that's not saying much. Rhode Island in general is tiny. The latest fire, the Sunset Fire, started Wednesday evening in the Hollywood Hills, threatening iconic landmarks in the beating heart of the city's entertainment industry. Who cares? Maybe, maybe it's just a little Sodom and Gomorrah for you, a little fire and brimstone raining down on Hollywood. Could it be? I don't know. More than 350,000 energy customers are without power across the region. There's no denying that wildfires are getting worse, and if lawmakers want to get serious about fighting them, they need to make sure we have every possible tool at our disposal, including proven tactics like controlled burns, Girari said. We can't let something as serious as this get lost in red tape. Mother Nature does not wait for court battles or paperwork to finish. The forest will continue to burn, threatening livelihoods in the meantime. From BBC. Okay, so there's the green energy, the DEI, what we know. Let's look at the damages from BBC here. LA wildfire damages set to cost around $135 billion. $135 billion. Yep. Los Angeles wildfires are on track to be among the costliest in U.S. history, with losses already expected to exceed $135 billion. In a preliminary estimate, private forecasters AccuWeather said it expected losses between $135 and $150 billion as the blazes rip through an area that is home to some of the most expensive property in the U.S. The insurance industry is also bracing. And I think I don't have the article, but I saw they're doing like they have all this red tape for building and for environmental reasons. They're pulling all that back so that they can rebuild the rich people's neighborhood. Yeah. They revoked a lot of their red tape and their bureaucratic energy policies and building policies and climate policies. They revoked a lot of that temporarily so they could rebuild the rich people's neighborhood. Isn't that interesting? But they won't revoke those policies in order to preemptively prevent the fires. Genius move there. Or evil, whichever you want to say. The insurance industry is also bracing for a major hit, with analysts from firms such as Morningstar and JP Morgan forecasting insured losses at more than $8 billion. Fire authorities say more than 5,300 structures have been destroyed, with more than 5,000 structures being destroyed in the Eaton fire. These fast-moving, wind-driven infernos have created one of the costliest fire disasters in modern U.S. history. 200 in the 2018 fire that broke out in Northern California near the town of Paradise currently ranks as the disaster with the highest insured cost at roughly $12 billion. This blaze, known as the Camp Fire, killed 85 people and displaced more than 50,000. And apparently this one's bigger. So there's the monetary collateral damage. And before we get to the victims, check this video out. Now, I thought this was fake when I first saw it, but apparently this is a real video. Let's check this out. I can't full screen it. So this is two guys in their house, probably gay. Two guys in their house while the fire is raging outside. And it looks like at one point all this is the smoke turns white. So I'm thinking there are firefighters out there fighting the fire, but why did this person not evacuate? Why are you in your house, which is made of glass apparently, during the fire? This is crazy that you're home right now recording this. I know it's 7 o'clock.
Hi. Just be okay. You gonna be okay? Hi. You're gonna be okay.
Don't look like you're gonna be okay. Your house is on fire and you're inside of it.
Don't worry about that, dude. Look at that. Oh shit. Scary, huh? Yeah. The plastic is gone, dude.
The plastic is gone. Oh, the plastic is gone. What plastic? Your whole house is gonna be gone in 20 minutes, Rick. You need to leave. Stop recording it and leave. See, you see water splashing on their windows, so the firefighters are out there fighting it. And you'll see all the smoke will turn white in a second. See how it cleared out there? So they're spraying it down right now, and then it goes white.
Where's the gas?
Oh, fire comes right back.
Okay, the gas is off right now.
Yeah, you better have the gas off.
No, don't open the window. Don't open.
Don't open the window. This guy's like, well, let me go take a look. Let's open the sliding glass door. No, you freaking idiot. He said, don't open the window. Thanks, Captain Common Sense.
Don't open anything. Just stay over here. Fuck.
You better go running some water in the bathtub, but I doubt there's any water left to run. But go fill that bathtub with water and get down in that piece. So that's wild. Wildfire. Before we move on, we're going to talk about the victims. This is more important than the monetary losses. What we know about the victims killed in the California wildfires. So early in the week, the count was at 5. Now the count is up to 24. At least 24 people have died across the Los Angeles area. Officials have said the true death toll isn't known as the fires continue to burn. This number is going to keep going up and up and up for a while here before you have a final count. So, you know, it's sad that there were a lot of lives lost. At least 2 people killed in the Southern California wildfires tried to protect the homes they were raised in, families and lived for decades, while another stayed behind with his son who had cerebral palsy and could not evacuate. That's sad. 24 people are known to have died across the Los Angeles area after destructive wildfires fueled by dry conditions and powerful winds and lesbians erupted Tuesday. Thousands of structures have been destroyed and roughly 180,000 people have been forced from their homes. Officials have said the true death toll is not known as the fires continue to destroy neighborhoods. Let's watch a little bit of this clip. It's a 4-minute clip. We can't watch all of it, but just seeing some of the stories.
And how homeowners continue to face the wildfires head on.
Topanga's there. If we burn, Topanga burns. We need to stop this.
Using
Topanga.
water hoses.
Topanga? Boy Meets World? Ooh, I love me some Topanga. Is that who what does she mean, Topanga?
Shovels and sprinklers. These residents have been fighting for days.
Why you're sweating, you're covered in water and dirt. Why are you doing this?
Because there's a whole community behind us, and if we go, they go.
With firefighters on the ground and the wind slowing down, air assets attack the blaze from above.
We're in the middle of the Palisades firefight right now. That is a Firehawk. It's a Black Hawk helicopter that has up to 1,000 gallons of water, dropping it right on some of the hottest spots of this wildfire.
The accuracy of those airdrops was unbelievable.
Even Carmen Harmon,
What was that person doing in the background?
spraying down her home with water. She's expecting a boy and says she's trying to ensure her baby has a place to come home to.
We're ready to go if we need to. We have routes out, but yeah, we want to try and stay and fight.
And the threat isn't over. Today, new evacuations ordered as a fire.
It's kind of foolish, though. I get it. Like, you don't want to lose your house. You want to stay and fight, but the fire can quickly surround you, and then there is no escape. It's a risky endeavor, especially if you're a pregnant woman. Topanga Canyon. Oh, Topanga Canyon. I just saw Topanga Can, the way my window is set up, and I thought you had put Topanga Can Get It.
Fire broke out in Granada Hills. And last night, another new fire near Calabasas.
Oh yeah, Lord Spike is in Cali.
A furious effort held back.
Why do they dye the water red? Is that red dye number 27? Is that the one that gives people cancer? Why do they dye the water red, I wonder? Maybe to make it more visible so they can see where they're dropping it. But I don't know. It seems odd.
These flames, but with each new outbreak, already thin resources are being
That's the blood of our enemies.
stretched even further. Today, there's one less firefighting plane in the air after a super scooper was struck by what the FBI
Here we
is
go.
investigating as a civilian drone strike.
One of them big ass planes got taken out by a drone. How big was the drone? That's a big old plane. How does a drone take out one of those? I'm glad that this was in here because I didn't grab any thing to talk about that story, but they got it in here. That's wild. How big of a drone? A little ass drone, a little DJI could take out one of those things? That's crazy. Don't tell people that. Especially in New Jersey. They'll be freaking terrorists are just going to come out here and just start flying drones into airplanes.
The damage left a fist-sized hole in its wing, grounding the vital aircraft designed to drop 1,500 gallons.
So it didn't make the plane crash. It just, they had to ground it. So they were able to land. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought it made the plane crash, but they just had to ground it to fix the hole in the wing.
Gallons of water on fire. The fires have now...
Yeah, you're right, Seasal. I didn't know. I heard that it took out a plane, which it technically did, but it didn't crash the plane. It just took it out of commission because they had to fix a hole in the wing. I thought it crashed a plane, but that's good to know that it didn't crash the plane. It just grounded it.
Burned more than 56 square miles. That's larger than the city of San Francisco. More than 12,000 structures damaged or destroyed.
All right. Aftermath. And okay, so that's everything. Just look at some of the aftermath. I just want to skim through this clip real quick so you can see it looks like a bomb hit LA in the aftermath.
Please rest assured that your
Look
County
at
of
that.
Los Angeles Fire Department will be prepared. These winds, combined with low humidities and low fuel
This is
moistures,
now. This is the LA County Fire Chief talking. I thought so. Who's the lesbian? This guy's not the lesbian.
will keep the fire threat
But I want to show
all
you
of Los Angeles.
this.
For the
Look
impacted
at
areas.
that.
That goes from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m.
Bro, it looks like freaking
What does
Iraq.
that mean? Simply stay out of the areas if you
LA
are
is a
not
third world country
a
now.
first responder or have emergency business there. I know there's a lot of folks trying to get back to their houses.
And I saw some people saying, you know, a little conspiracy stuff for you.
Sensitive to those needs.
Isn't it odd when the fire doesn't burn any of the trees, just the houses? Like, look, all the trees are good. Stubborn One sent me a meme. I didn't put it in the meme review, but it said something about Australia sent us flammable eucalyptus trees, and they put them in California, and that's could potentially be chill part of the cause. I don't know anything about that, but
needs, but your safety comes first. A lot of these areas still look like they were hit by a bomb.
Yeah.
There are live electrical wires, gas lines. I don't expect good
Look at
news
that.
from those. We will keep people updated. I'll get my next update when they're complete at sunset with.
What are these guys doing right now? Like, well, maybe there's a person. Maybe they hear yelling or there's a person under there.
What they come up with. The death toll stands at 14. Those were our numbers we received earlier today.
The fire just skipped over all the trees. Isn't that weird?
We will not get updates about that till tonight. And I'll end with saying this regarding any illegal activity
Got that tree.
may be occurring in these areas. Don't do it. The fact that anyone takes advantage of anyone who's been
and dealing with the down power lines and gas lines that are in there. And again, with the winds returning, it's still a very dangerous environment. I want to thank everyone for
Look at the
patience,
beach is right
resilience
there.
that we've seen, the teamwork, everyone looking out for their neighbors.
They know any asset that the CHP has is at their disposal. In
Wild.
closing, I'll just reassure the members, the people that are impacted by this, the citizens. We're in this.
Wild. It looks like a third world country over there. That's crazy. Okay. So that's everything about the fires. Now let's move on to the other story that we have in the main story news. I need to go quick. I got to get through all this. It's literally an unfair war. Yeah. I hope they rebuild right away. I'd hate to have more Californians moving up here. Yeah. Yeah, there'll be oh yeah, in Utah, here in Salt Lake City, our mayor sent down like 6 of our fire engines with like 20 of our firefighters down to fight the fire in California, which seems nice, but I bet you if it was a Republican mayor down there, she wouldn't have done it. Our mayor wouldn't have sent help if it wasn't Karen Bass, because they're on the same team. These Marxist Democrat women, DEI, green energy, like our mayor, Aaron Mendenhall, is all about that life. And I bet you if it was like some red-blooded American mayor, she wouldn't have sent help. I would bet you. I don't know that for sure, but I would bet. And yeah, I commented on their Facebook post. I was like, you know, this is the fault of the policies and the Democrat leadership that they have in California, and you're the exact same way. And now you're sending our firefighters down there to save them. What happens if a fire starts here now? We just had a fire up in the mountains, up in the avenues a couple months ago. I put a short on YouTube about it. So we can get them here too, Mayor. We have fires out here all the time too. So what happens if Salt Lake City catches on fire? We don't got no firefighters because we sent them all to California. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on. Last thing in the main story news, we're going to focus a little bit on Biden. Saying goodbye to Biden. Biden's making some questionable moves. Yeah, facts, Esau. I'm not trying to have our resources sent to California. Like, no, because if something happened here, we would be screwed. But I think we're all right because we got snow. It's pretty wet. We had a drought like a year ago, but we're out of our drought now. Let's talk about some of Biden's exit strategies before he leaves office. He's almost gone, guys. We got 7 more days. 7 more days. I think if today's the 13th, that means next Monday's show is on Inauguration Day. So next Monday, probably the main topic that we'll be talking about is Trump's inauguration. I'll be sleeping when it happens, but I'll wake up and we'll find the video. We'll watch whatever his inauguration speech is, any sort of chaos that erupts on the 20th. We'll see what happens. But I think it's going to go fairly smoothly, at least the inauguration. There's probably going to be some other things going on in the country next week, like the fire, more craziness is going to be going on in the world this year. 2025, some people are predicting it's going to be a bloody year, and it's already shaping up to be so. We've had like 4 terrorist attacks. We got the biggest fire in LA history, and we're only 13 days into 2025. So get ready, guys. Strap in for a crazy 4 years. They are going to do everything they can. I'm not saying that they made the fires or anything like that, but they're going to do everything they can to detract from Trump's term. But next Monday's show is on Inauguration Day. Let's freaking go. But before inauguration, Biden's doing everything he can before leaving office to throw a wrench into Trump's plans. Let's see this. How should we what order should we do these in? Let's do this one first. From the Brennan Center, Biden's last moves. Here's what the president can do to cement his legacy. President, I just want to see the policies that he's done so far. I have. Okay, so there's been a number of things. There's been from banning offshore drilling to apparently now he's trying to keep it secret. They're trying to take almost all the nicotine out of the cigarettes. Nada told us about that last week. and a lot of other things. So from the Hill, Trump lashes out at transition as Biden pushes policies. President-elect Trump is ripping President Biden over what he says is a difficult transition period, expressing frustration with the current president for still seeking to set policies that fly in the face of what he would support. Trump has railed against Biden, particularly after he issued executive orders to restrict offshore drilling on the east and west coast, with Trump claiming such acts makes the changeover hard because it gives him more work to undo. Yeah, you're just putting obstacles in his way that Trump has to deal with when he gets into office in your last week. Some BS. Because Trump wants to drill, baby, drill. Well, before we get out of office, let's restrict all the drilling. And then Trump has to get in and fix that. Trump's view is that he won and you should just lay down and surrender your arms, a source close to the Trump world said. Biden, in a USA Today interview this week, said he asked Trump not to try to settle scores during the first meeting to start the presidential transition in November, and the president said Trump even praised him, especially on his work on the economy. Yeah, Trump's just being nice. But after the president made moves to protect his legacy before leaving office, particularly when it comes to the environment, Trump began railing about his soon-to-be predecessor. Biden is doing everything possible to make the transition as difficult as possible, from lawfare, such as never been seen before, to costly and ridiculous executive orders on the Green New scam and other money-wasting hoaxes, Trump said on True Social. The source close to Trump world said the clash represents each man holding their ground. The Bidens have decided that they're not going to turn the keys over, meaning around power and authority to exercise their decision-making until the actual transition of power. From Trump's point of view, any continued regulatory activity, decision-making that Biden does is more complicated. But from the Biden perspective, they're just doing what they get to do is because they are still president. They're just doing what they get to do is because they are still president. That doesn't make any sense. Others in Trump's world have taken a different view. Incoming White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles said in an Axios interview this week that Biden's Chief of Staff Jeff Zients has been very helpful and even invited her over to his house for dinner. That's nice. Incoming chief told Axios that Zients has made great suggestions, helped make sure we stay on time with required functions, helped us navigate the labyrinth that is executive office of the president, and been very professional. Republican source familiar with the transition said Trump and Wild's differing perspectives involve separate aspects of the transition. So, Biden ordered on Monday. The Biden order on Monday that set Trump off blocks new drilling off the entire coast, as well as California, Oregon, and Washington state, and blocks some drilling off Alaska's coast. In portions of the northern Bering Sea and eastern Gulf of Mexico, Trump, meanwhile, has promised to promote domestic energy production when he is sworn in, and one signature line of his campaign was, "Drill, baby, drill." Trump vowed to undo Biden's recent executive order, though it's unclear if he would be able to reverse it. Oh, he'll reverse it. The source close to Trump world. What is this Trump world? Called Trump and Wild's narrative on the transition a tale of two worlds, saying Wild's perspective is that the transition is going well, and Trump thinks Biden should stop acting as president in the final week. Yeah, he probably should have stopped acting as president like 4 years ago. Meanwhile, Biden has suggested the transition process has been friendly, at least at the beginning of it. Days after winning the 2024 election, Trump went to the White House for a meeting, which Wiles and Zients also joined. Biden and Trump appeared to be collegial after heavily railing against each other on the campaign trail when Biden was still running for election. Yeah. You know, Trump's a friendly guy when you're not competing against him. He's smiling and laughing with Obama recently at the Jimmy Carter funeral. And Kamala was sitting in front of him, and she looked back, and she looked pissed. Terrible writing. Who wrote that? A fifth grade? I know. Well, there's no standards for quality anymore. Everything's garbage. Because they wouldn't I can write well. There are editors who can edit, but instead of hiring them, they just hire some foreign lesbian to do the writing because they got to be diverse. If you read the authors of these articles, it's always a foreigner. Trump, it's true. It's true. English is their second language. What do you expect? Like AI could write a better article. It probably is writing a lot of them. Trump claims Biden blocking his agenda. This is from ABC News. Trump claims Biden blocking his agenda at the last minute. Policy experts weigh in. Biden bans drill, baby, drill. That's the main big one is his drilling thing, but he's doing environmental things, you know. Send a little more money to Ukraine. Make sure you can't cut down the Amazon rainforest. You know, green energy stuff. Don't drill. You can't drill for oil. We got to get our oil from Afghanistan. We got to buy oil from Ukraine or Russia. I don't know. Trump is jovial and charismatic fellow. That's true. I'm going to put it back on day one. I'm going to put it back on day one. I'm going to have it revoked on day one. We'll go immediately if we need to. They try to be sneaky. They tried to be sneaky. Yep. Biden trying to be sneaky out here in his last days. This is pretty typical. Trump is just complaining about it louder. Jonathan Hansen, a political scientist and lecturer in statistics at the University of Michigan's Gerald R. Ford School of Public Policy, told ABC News. The experts noted that Trump's claims Biden is The experts noted that Trump's claims Biden is tying his hands are far from true, as some of Biden's policies can be overturned and mitigated. On Friday, the Department of Homeland Security announced the extension of temporary protection status for asylum seekers. Oh, wait. What is this one? The Department of Homeland Security announced the extension of temporary protected status for asylum seekers from Venezuela, meaning Tren de Aragua gang members who got released from prison and came here on caravans. Biden extended their temporary protection status. We need more apartment complexes in America taken over by Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua. You know, YouTube scrubbed it off my sub list. Boo. What's that? That's stupid. Yep. TPS is one of the few ways that an administration can protect a large group of migrants without congressional approval. However, it's also within the DHS secretary's power to end it. Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance have vowed to end the program, which Trump attempted to do back in his first administration. That's crazy. I didn't even know about that one. So we're protecting the Venezuelan illegal immigrants. And that's where they let all the prisoners out of the prison, and we saw all those caravans coming for the past 4 years. It didn't stop. Remember, when Biden first got in, we were showing the overpasses filled with people and the caravans of people riding on trains coming from Venezuela, criminals, gang members, insane asylum people that they just released, Tren de Aragua coming from Venezuela. We saw that. The what they call the is something triangle. It's like Venezuela, Guatemala, and another place is like this triangle of death, basically. They're all coming through Mexico. We made Mexico tighten up their southern border. Trump did. And then Biden gets in, and it just free for all. Everybody come here. We'll give you $2,000. We'll fly you to wherever you want to go. We'll give you a hotel to stay in. Yeah. That's Biden for you. It wasn't just a little thing that happened in the beginning. It's been consistent. The media moved off the story, but it's been happening nonstop for 4 years. And these are mostly criminals. Because if all the criminals get released from jail and they're coming over on the trains to America, it's not like the good immigrants who are really looking for a better life are riding on the train with the murderous, rapist criminals from the gang. You know, they're not letting those people on the train. It's just the criminals who are coming. A little family tries to get on to be saved from the crime. What are they? They're trying to get away from the crime. They're going to jump on the train with all the criminals and come to America. That don't make no sense. You're going to get raped. What's the percentage of minors who are immigrating here who get raped? I mean, it's horrible. Some of these young girls they find like samples that they've been graped like 20 times on their way here. It's horrible. And Biden's policies encourage it. And he's trying to extend that into Trump's presidency. Banning offshore drilling. Biden's last moves. Liberty and national. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to read all that. We're going to skip that one. Let's just go to this cigarette thing. Now, I almost think this might, dude, what is up with this mic? I got to figure out I got to figure this thing out because it seems like my volume goes up and down, up and down. Biden's last chance. So this is a new thing that Nada told me about last night or the other night. Biden's last chance to tackle tobacco, limiting nicotine levels in cigarettes. A Hail Mary toss of proposed tobacco regulation from the outgoing administration has the potential to make smoking nearly or totally non-addictive, experts say. Now, I say that's BS. If you take the nicotine out of cigarettes, maybe it won't be chemically, make you chemically, physically dependent on the nicotine or addicted to the nicotine, but people could get addicted. Old ladies can get addicted to crocheting. My mom was probably used to be addicted to jogging. She would go running like 5 miles every day, and she'd get an endorphin rush out of it. It's basically an addiction. You can have a healthy addiction, but you can get addicted to anything. I don't care what anybody said. People say porn is not addictive. Bullshit. You can get addicted to chocolate. You can get addicted to coffee. You could get addicted to video games. You can get addicted to porn. You can get addicted to cigarettes without nicotine in them. There's the hand movement. There's the oral fixation pause. It's not just the nicotine. So, but I'm gonna say something you might not expect here. I actually support this move from Biden. If we can take all the nicotine out of they're proposing that they have less nicotine in cigarettes than naturally occurs in tobacco. So I don't know how they do that. Now, there could be some sort of chemical process they have to do to reduce the natural occurring nicotine that's already in tobacco, which could be more harmful. And if that's the case, I don't like it. But if there's a way to take all the nicotine out of the cigarettes, and that makes it easier. Now, I'm not saying everybody's just going to quit because, like I said, there are other aspects of the addiction. But if they can make it easier to quit by taking all the nicotine out, I'm with it. I don't really think this is a bad move. Surprise, surprise. Now, there could be some sort of nefarious ulterior motive to this. Like, I don't know, maybe Biden invested in vape companies or Zyn or smokeless tobacco or something. I don't know. But there could be some other motives to this. And if that's the case, not good. But on its face, if we could take all the nicotine out of the cigarettes and it makes it easier for people to quit, I'm on board with that. So, shocker. I almost agree with this, but I don't know what the real motive behind it is. In his last few days of power, the Biden administration is expected to officially propose a limit on nicotine in cigarettes. It'd be a last-minute move to push back against the tobacco industry after President Joe Biden failed to finalize a long-standing pledge to ban menthol cigarettes. Now, that's retarded. Banning menthol cigarettes. They did it in California. That's stupid. Like, either ban cigarettes or take the nicotine out of them. I'm okay with that. But banning menthols, why? Because teenagers start smoking menthols usually, and black people like menthols. So is that racist, Biden? What are you, racist? You don't want black people to have Newports? What's wrong with you, Biden? That seems a little racist. Freddie, how are you going to support a racist who doesn't want you having your Newports? You support that? That's crazy. Yeah, the menthol ban is dumb, but taking all the nicotine out of cigarettes, I kind of like the idea. If it's possible, and if it makes it easier for people to quit, I'm all right with it. Proposal, which come as soon as Monday, is not expected to include tobacco products like e-cigarettes or nicotine replacement patches and lozenges. See, I bet you he invested into those companies, and then he takes the nicotine out of the cigarettes, which discourages people from wanting to smoke the cigarettes, and now everybody's buying vapes and freaking these things. He probably got invested in this company right here. So the sale of these goes up. Stocks go up. Guys, buy stock in smokeless tobacco companies. But a lot of them are the same company. Like, I bet you this is Philip Morris. It's a monopoly. Like, Philip Morris pretty much owns all of it. What is this from? Who's this company? Nicotine pouches. CNA Tobacco Customer Services. This is manufactured in Sweden for Helix Innovations, LLC, Richmond, Virginia. It doesn't say Philip Morris on here. I don't know what Helix is, but I bet you Biden invested in it. I think Philip Morris probably makes Zyn, which is why they're the more popular brand. But these ones are stronger than the Zyns. 8 milligram instead of 6 or 7. Next, they'll ban those Listerine strips. Dude, they probably should, because I don't know if that's good. Something wrong with those. Those things are gross. Anyway, we're not going to read this other article about the cigarettes. I think I basically covered that. 5 accomplishments Biden is touting before leaving the office. Navigating the pandemic. No, you did a horrible job. What else? Bipartisan bills. That means commie bills. Oh, his infrastructure bill. His what was it called? The Inflation Reduction Act. Garbage. All his bills were garbage. I wonder if he's going to have CHIPS Act on here. Appointment of Ketanji Brown Jackson is one of his biggest accomplishments. A DEI hire who can barely read, but she just runs her mouth the whole time at all of the Supreme Court meetings. That's one of his 5 biggest accomplishments, is a black woman on the Supreme Court. And he came through with his promise. He came through with his promise to get a black woman as vice president. He came through with his promise to get a black woman on the Supreme Court. Good job, Biden. You did great. Ketanji Jackson Brown. That's really a great accomplishment there, Joe. Student loans. Didn't he fail to get rid of his first attempt? He has forgiven student loans for many public service workers, targeting teachers. I thought he failed with this. White House in May said it would forgive $6 billion in student debt. That's not an accomplishment. What about all the people who paid their student loans? It's stupid. That is not an accomplishment. And the economy. I disagree. So basically, Biden's 5 biggest accomplishments were all garbage. If this nicotine thing happens and there's not some nefarious thing behind it, I would say that's a good move. And then the CHIPS Act, but it hasn't even worked. Like, we haven't even built any chip factories yet. We're supposed to bring the chip production from Taiwan, stop being dependent on Taiwan, and bring it over here. And it hasn't happened. Like, nothing's happening. In the same way that they said they put like $8 billion to make more electric car chargers, and they built like 8 electric car chargers for $8 billion. That was a money laundering scam. But the CHIPS Act, good move, good idea. But of course, like everything else, the Democrats don't employ it properly. They don't do it properly. And that was a Trump plan. Trump was the one who said first, we need to bring the chip manufacturing over to America. And then Biden just took it, and he doesn't even take credit for it. That's one of the only decent things he did. But I'm sure that bill was packed with a bunch of pork, and they haven't enacted it or whatever. properly. So anyway, that's it for the main story news. We still have 2 big stories in rapid fire, and I don't even think we're going to have time to cover Trump isolationist or imperialist. We might have to do a bonus TDC episode this week to talk about that, because I really want to like do a deep dive into the Panama Canal. What am I looking for now? What are you guys talking about? Y'all just always talking about different channels in the chat. Rome and William, all they ever do is just talk about other channels in the chat. I don't get it. Anyway, let's see here. Let's open up these memes. It's time. You guys see that Andrew Wilson was debating that gay pastor, Brandon Robertson? I can't stand that guy. And Andrew was actually being very nice. Also, I'll watch it tonight. But it looks like a good one. I can't stand that Brandon guy. He is a degenerate, subverter, evil tool of Satan. He said he agrees with all the tenets of the Satanic Church. He said he doesn't really know if we have a soul. Dude, that guy is a piece of work. And I'm sure Andrew totally wrecked him. But he don't care. Anyway, I'll watch it later tonight on Jake's channel if it's up there. It's time, guys, for the meme. See how the sound drops? If I talk a lot or I like make a continuous sound like you see how it drops. I don't know why it does that. I have to like maintain if I get too loud, but I turned off the auto gain function, so I don't know why it's doing that. What up, Matthew? All right, guys, let's get to these memes. Look at this meme. My biggest regret. Look at this tattoo. This is the craziest tattoo I've ever seen. You must join us Canadians. You must join with USA. Together we will be stronger than ever. What up, Anunnaki the One? Shout out. Welcome to the Dreaded Conservative Show. Yeah, I don't know about Canada and US together. But look at this tattoo. This is the funniest tattoo I've ever seen. That's awesome. He looks like a little man in a ship. Isn't that a cool tattoo? All right, next. I wonder if he's thinking of me. And he's thinking, if I don't lift this, I'm gay and my whole family dies. That's what he's thinking about. True. Next. I bumped into Aaron Musk. Aaron Musk. Aaron Musk. This is Iran. The Asian Elon. That's crazy. Next. Just a picture of the fires from a plane. That's crazy. Dang, that's crazy looking. Next. Motorcycle was invented in 1885. This is people in 1884. Racing on cheetahs. They're cheetah racing. That's cool. I bet you. Yep. This is where crotch rocket racing started with cheetah racing. Next. Well, we know what shampoo he uses. Guys, which shampoo does he use? Head and Shoulders. He uses Head and Shoulders shampoo. That's funny. But he got a cute lady here. Mr. Head and Shoulders. Next. As much as they need, foreign aid pouring out of the fire hose. And there's Biden. And then we have Karen Bass here, the mayor of LA. Endless funding and DEI spraying from the fire hose. And then when the fire department arrives to put out a fire, there's no water. The hose is empty because all of it went to DEI funding for Ukraine, and green energy policies. Next. If mediums can communicate with the dead, imagine what a large could do. Facts. Next. Californians, help. Save us from the fires. California says, best we can do is lesbianism. Best we can do is lesbians. Scissor. Mediums. Next. But Dad, I don't want to go to the party. You're going to the party, son. The Beastie Boys fought for that right. They fought for your right to party. You're going. Next. We have never found a cave painting of a salad. Yeah. But vegans will say, no, we've been vegans forever. Well, I've never seen a salad in a cave painting. I've seen a lot of hunters and bulls and oxen and zebras. Hey, on behalf of Lord Spike Protein, unlike California, our Tennessee reservoirs are full. Facts. Well, maybe, you know, if you had a Democrat running your city where your reservoirs were full, I'm sure they could ship all your water on trucks to California. You know, that's like what a Democrat would do. Like, let's empty all our reservoirs and ship all our water to California. They really need the water. Thank you, Anunnaki the One, helping us reach our $50 goal. We're only $30 away. Let's go. Thank you. I wish I had my sound effects, my soundboard, but we had some technical issues and I had to delete it. A big boned skeleton. I'm actually looking to move to Tennessee. I love Nashville. Nashville is one of my probably top three favorite places in the country. I love Nashville. Next. Crocodiles use many forms of camouflage. For instance, these jazz hands are used to lure theater kids to their doom. Crocodile's got jazz hands. He's getting all the musical theater people to jump in the water. Oh, look at the cute crocodile. People like Jalen love a crocodile with jazz hands. Got any Tennessee whiskey? See, bro, my levels keep going up and down. I don't get it. Next. I'm a Native American. So what tribe? The Anglo-Saxon tribe. You know, Native American as in after America became a country, I was born here. Therefore, I'm a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant WASP Native American. Facts. Next. Here's look at this fire station. This is California's fire station. Barbie, are these firefighters qualified? They're better than qualified. They're diverse. LA Fire Department emphasized equity and now city burns under first female LGBT fire command. They're better than qualified. They're diverse. Next. California residents trying to get financial aid after the wildfires. You got to paint Ukraine over your door and then you'll get some funding. This is like Passover. Paint a Ukraine flag on your wall and we'll send you some funding. Next. Los Angeles residents is a fine girl walking by. LA firefighters budget fully funded so they can do their jobs and save lives and property. And then they check out the Los Angeles residents. They're like, we got you. Ooh, I'm about to go take care of you, girl. But then DEI, a black gay guy, comes in and stops them. Nope. You're not talking to her today. Cock block. I broke etiquette by promoting Josh's channel. Well, you're breaking etiquette right now by talking about Buff's channel. What the heck, Rome? Dang it. This isn't the gossip about other channels channel. Not gossip, but this ain't the promote other channels channel. Wait, Buff said you're not allowed to promote my channel, but yet he promotes every other channel? Buff. Breaking, Janice Quinones is the new head of LA Department of Water and Power. She is recommended to the position by Mayor Karen Bass back in May 2024. She makes $750,000 a year, nearly twice as much as her male predecessor, and almost 1 year later, LA is out of water. There you go. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Nothing worse than DEI getting blocked. Next. Odd to see the guy who claimed Trump was a fascist, rapist Hitler for 8 years sitting next to him and laughing at his jokes during a funeral. Yeah. And Kamala did not like that. Next. Mark Zuckerberg wouldn't be removing fact-checking if Kamala Harris had won. True. He's afraid. Next. Mostly Peaceful Meme says, have we tried calling the fire racist? Maybe then it'll back off. Just call it racist and it'll go away. Hey, shout out to JLP channel. Rome! Come on. What the heck? I ain't running a franchise. That forehead is out of control. Next. If India is chock full of brilliant engineers, why don't they stay and fix India first? Yeah, that makes sense. Why, if they're so intelligent, why do they have to go to school in America and work and job training in America? If they're so intelligent, you know, shouldn't India be super prosperous and super green energy? Oh no, India has more pollution than almost anybody in the whole world? Really? But if they're so intelligent, why can't they clean their air? Why can't they get the shit out of the streets? Why do they have to come to school in America if they're so brilliant? Next. And I don't even think India is in the top 10 highest IQ. Like 6 out of the 10 are Asian countries. And then the other 4 are like homogenous white countries, like Denmark is in there. Small homogenous communities. And then the rest are all like blung, 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 blung. Shout out to the Hodge. Oh my God. Is this, what are you guys doing? Come on. A modern cruise ship compared to the Titanic. Modern cruise ship, Titanic. Modern cruise ship, Titanic. You get it? Because there is no more Titanic. Because they did an insurance scam and they sank it on purpose. They thought the lifeboats were going to arrive in time to save all the people, but the lifeboats got a little tied up and everybody died because of an insurance scam. Those Indian villages look like failed papier-mâché project. Next. If genders confuse you, go milk a bull. Those are not nipples. That's a penis. Try to milk a bull. See what happens. Get Owen on? I would love to. Message him for me. If you want a job as a producer, just get me a guest. And then I'll make you the permanent producer. If anybody talks to Owen or is on his network, I would love to talk to Owen. I watched Owen on Jake Shields the other night. I listened to it while I was at work, Friday, I think, or Thursday. And dude, it was. I can get you Mr. Mad, promise. Well, I'm sure I could get Mr. Mad on as a guest too, since he's like a regular guest. You have his email address? This guy looks like the situation. That's Keanu Reeves, and I don't think he approves of his face being used in all these memes. Because I've seen ones where he's holding up a Democrat promotion shirt, and then other ones where it's like Republican. Like, who decided to start using Keanu? Who I don't think he likes this. I don't know why we're using his face in these memes, but shout out John Wick, shout out Neo. You know, next. Most sheeple wouldn't recognize a global depopulation agenda if it poked them 4 times with a questionable needle. Change my mind. That's a good change my mind topic right there. Shout out Anunnaki the One. We're $10 away from the super chat goal, guys. Anunnaki the One is single-handedly getting us to the goal. Next. Wow, Mexico looks like shit. That's California, Mr. President. We might have to build a wall around that, too. Yeah, Johnny, Utah. We might have to build a wall around California, too. We'll replace them with Canada. I can get you Frederick as a guest. Guys, I'm talking about real guests. Like people with some clout. I can get Mr. Mad and Frederick as a guest. I could probably get Tommy T-Bone Davis as a guest. Shout out Anunnaki's generosity. Oh, yeah. Also, Anunnaki, I don't know if you like ever go on panels or anything, but if you ever want to come up and teach me about the Anunnaki, I've never done like a deep dive into them, and you seem to be... Glenn Lawrence would probably come on here. Yeah, he probably would. I've been on his stream, though. But if you do open panels and I've gone on your panels, but you won't come on any of my panels, then I'm not going out of my way. Like, I don't consider that a guest. Like, Easy has come on my panels before, and I go on his panels. You know? But, no, that's not a guest. Sorry. That's just like, that just should be like a buddy that comes on my panels. I go on your panels, and it's pretty cool. When I say a guest, I mean like Goofy Glenn, right? I'm talking about like somebody pretty big. Next. LA County, 72 gender, 0 operational fire hydrants. Damn. That sucks. Next. This is the leadership team at the Los Angeles Fire Department. Is that Keenan from Keenan and Kel? No, that's a fat black radical lesbian. Dang. A lot of scissoring going on here. A lot of friction. A lot of friction going on here. Next. When they need someone to fight and die in wars, straight white people suddenly reappear in commercials. When they legalize assisted suicide, straight white people suddenly reappear in commercials. Death is the only product that they market to straight white people. Isn't that interesting? Looks like Fat Albert's sister. Fat Alice. What's a black name? Fat Aloquisha. Fat Aquafina. Aquafina's Asian. Fat alopecia. Next. An American man born in Texas. I'm not trying to start beef with Glenn. I'm not calling Glenn out. I'm just saying I don't know. If you do open panels and I go on your panel, you know, I don't consider that like a guest appearance. I don't know. Albondiga. An American man born in Texas mowed down 10 people in New Orleans. An American man born in Texas mowed down 10 people. Oh, what was his name? John Smith? What was his name? Mark Jacobs? No, his name was Shamsuddin Jabbar. Oh, really? That was an American man born in Texas? Thanks, media. Let me know if you need a channel dropped. Oh, my God. Freddie's trying to piss me off. Everybody's trying to annoy me. Y'all are all triggering me right now. Next. 1960s ladies. No tattoos, nose rings, or green hair. Just classy ladies, beautiful legs, nice hairstyles, all smiling, no resting bitch face. And best of all, no penises. They don't have penises. That's the best thing about a good American 1960s woman is they don't have a penis. Next. Unburdened by what has been. Goodbye, Trudeau. Canada has been unburdened by what has been. I don't know if these two are real, but I know this one is real. He definitely did blackface like every 2 weeks. Bye-bye, Trudeau. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye. Next. Don't mind us, we're just burning hundreds of gallons of jet fuel to de-ice this clean energy wind turbine. It's great for the environment. Great for the environment. Tell Josh about your channel. Shut. Tommy does not have a channel. Next. This is awesome. Look at this girl. Hey, what up? We be putting out fires and shit. We be putting out fires and shit. That looked like a loompa oompa, as Freddie would say. That looked like a loompa oompa. Oh my God. Do you know how difficult it is to hold one of these hoses? Especially if you're a lesbian, you have no experience with holding a hose. You got to hold a hose with 14,000 PSI of water pressure running through it consistently. It's not easy. If you've ever done cement work where you have to hold the hose and pause, but you got to hold the hose and pour cement, or a fire hose, it's not easy. You have to be strong. That thing will lift you. You ever seen Little Rascals, where they dress up like firefighters and they turn the water on and they're putting out the fire, and the fire hose like lifts the little kids up in the air and is flinging them around? It do be like that. Like, you got to have some strength to hold that hose. Like, grown-ass, strong men are like, if you do that for an hour, your arms are dying. You're like sore. Imagine dang Shaquisha out here trying to hold it down with the fire hose. And she's a lesbian, so she's never held a hose in her life. A man knows how to control a hose. Exactly. Exactly. That's right. Next. If we all do this, we can save California. Put some water in a manila envelope from your sink and send it to California. Dang. The LaQuisha drank all that water out the bucket of KFC gizzling. What? Oh, man. Next. We were fighting toxic masculinity. Next time, fight the fire. If we focused on the fire instead of the toxic masculinity, you know, we wouldn't have such a problem here. Next. Elon Musk's father, says that Elon was labeled retarded by childhood teachers. Whippy! Yay! And then Elon responds, they weren't entirely wrong, to be honest. You know what we need to do a deep dive on? Asmongold just did a video about it, and somebody else did a video about it. Apparently, Elon Musk is stolen gamer valor. Elon Musk claims to be one of the top 20 Diablo 4 players in the world. On Joe Rogan, he said he's one of the top 4 Diablo 4 players in the world. He said he had a level 96 hardcore character. Hardcore character means if you die once, it's over. And it's the hardest difficulty. And to get to level 94 or 96 on hardcore in Diablo, at the time when Elon said that, Asmongold and all these real gamers were like, you would have to be playing 24 hours a day almost. You'd have to be playing nonstop. The guy who had the world record for the highest character, he had a level 96, or I think one guy got to level 100 on hardcore mode. And then he got disconnected without leaving the game. He got disconnected, so his character was still in game, and his character got killed by some random monsters, which is like devastating because on hardcore mode, if you die once, it's game over. Usually you die and you restart in the town, and you die and you restart in the town. But on hardcore mode, you're wiped out. You're done. And this guy lost his heart, and like it was devastating. But he said to have a level 96 or 94, or whatever Elon said he had, hardcore character in Diablo at that point in time, Elon would have to be playing Diablo 4 23 hours a day since the game released. So either Elon is a fake CEO or he's a fake gamer. He's got stolen gamer valor. And everybody's saying he's a liar. He's paying somebody to play his account because he did a live stream where he was playing Diablo 4 and he had no clue what he was talking about. They're like, look, he didn't even pick up the Chaos Orb, which is like the rarest item in the game. He doesn't know how the maps work. And he says that he's one of the top 20 players in the world. Stealing gamer valor. That's some BS, Elon. I don't like that. Next. The most important events in history. You'll like this, Tommy. Long ago, the inventions of fire, the invention of the wheel. 2005, the invention of the air fryer. One of the greatest inventions known to mankind. Asmongold looks like his underwear would stand on its own. Yeah, he's a nasty guy. He's a nasty guy. Next. Luckily, Los Angeles has its first female and LGBT low IQ STD fire chief. Even though the whole city's on fire, but hey, we got a gay woman fire chief. But in the video we saw, it was a different fire chief. So I don't know. I don't know who that guy is and who this person is. But anyway. All right. Rare steak hardware store employees ask me for help. Medium rare. My wife and I have sex on the weekdays sometimes. Medium. I pay a landscaping company to cut my grass. Beta. Medium well. I have a favorite Taylor Swift song. Beta. And well done. My kids are in charge of the thermostat. Beta. Super beta. Dude. Oh my God. I don't know what's up with this mic. Why does the audio cut out like that? Is it just in my monitor? Or is it cutting out for you guys too? Is the audio going up and down and up and down? I think it is. He actually might too. I'm shocked Josh figured out liars are best friends and Elon and Trump isn't who you think he is. Shut up. Do you know how to write a sentence properly, dude? Next. New check engine light for women will show Ryan Gosling's face, so they'll actually pay attention to it. Hey, girl, check your engine with Ryan Gosling on there. That's funny. Next. Wolverine. This is Wolverine. It does go down when you raise your voice. Yeah. But then it like gets, when I lower my voice, it gets really loud. And then when I raise my voice, it gets really quiet. I don't know if I just need to yell less or I don't like that. It should be one consistent level. I took off the auto gain, so it should just stay at one consistent level. Chimone. Next. Calling women household objects is now permitted on Facebook after Meta updated its guidelines. Nice. Ladies, get in the kitchen. It's getting too hot in here. I have two hoodies on. Hey! Hold on. It's cold in here, but I turned on the heat. Now it's burning up. Turn it up. All my ladies in the club and the fit in the tub. Turn it up. Thank you, Anunnaki the One, helping us pass our goal. Let's freaking go. To conclude the goal, today's Proverbs comes from the goddess Nabata, Sumerian teachings of upper heaven. Those who walk with the truth are builders of life. Remember, Jesus Christ is king. So the Anunnaki and the Sumerian stuff doesn't that conflict with Christianity? You said, remember, Jesus Christ is king, but then you're talking about an uppercase G goddess Nabata. I'm not judging. I don't care. I'm actually really interested in this stuff. I like learning about all the different religions, and I'll talk to anybody from any religion, but I'm curious, doesn't this stuff kind of like conflict with Christianity? Are you a Christian, Anunnaki the One? Because you said Christ is king. That's interesting. See, I'd like to talk to you about this stuff. Next. 2025 won't be that bad. First week, we're on fire. We are past our goal. We have surpassed our goal single-handedly due to Anunnaki the One. Shout out, shout out, shout out. All right, next. Rebellion then, punk rockers, SLC punk type stuff. And then rebellion now is homesteading, having a farm, having a beautiful wife who wears a dress and some children. Something about the see-throughness of this dress makes it super sexy. Like it's a full, modest dress, but at the same time, I can basically see that you're naked underneath it, which is kind of hot. If I had a woman on a farm like that, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. We're going to start a forest fire with all the friction in this mug. It's all plagiarized. Oh, my God. Everything's plagiarized from the Egyptians. Everything's plagiarized from the Egyptians. I'm sure Edgar Allan Poe plagiarized his poetry from Amun-Ra or something. Next. Deer population is controlled by releasing wolves into an area. All problems should be solved that way. Too much pollution? Release wolves in factories. Dislike Congress? Wolves. Want to lose weight? That's right, wolves. That's probably true. If you want to lose weight, just run away from a pack of wolves for a while. You lose some weight. Shakespeare plagiarized from Egypt too. Oh, Romeo and Juliet was written in hieroglyphs in the freaking pyramid. Oh, my Lord. Next. The current weather is balls. It's cold as balls. I don't even get that expression. It's cold as balls. My balls are super hot. Pause. But I got some warm balls. Some hot balls. It's cold as balls. Next. Charlie Kirk says, yes, this is real. So long, losers. Meta says fact checkers were the problem. Fact checkers rule that as false. That see-through dress equals more white babies. Facts. Definitely. Modern rebel taking picture with farm animals. She looking for it. What the heck, Dean? Dean. Anyway. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Romeo. Okay. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, wherefore art thou, Pharaoh? Next. All right, we're done with the meme. That's it for the memes. There is no next. Oh, okay. We're not going to have time to get into the whole last segment, and I put it in the thumbnail. I thought about it. I was like, I don't know if I should include that in the thumbnail and the title because I don't know if I'm going to have time to get to it. And I was 100% correct. We're not going to have time to get to our imperialist or isolationist Trump section. We're going to have to do a bonus show sometime this week. I'll wake up a little early and we'll just do like an hour-long TDC bonus episode where we're going to do a deep dive into Canada, Greenland, and Panama, and potentially Trump conquering all of them. Not really conquering. We're not going to conquer Panama. We're just going to take back the Panama Canal, which makes sense. We built it. We paid for it. A fact check on the $1 sale of it thing. Apparently that's not true, according to the fact checkers. And then the purchase of Greenland. We're not going to conquer Greenland. We're not going to take it by force. We're looking at purchasing Greenland. And then annexing Canada. So no like wars, no like conquering or anything like that. But it is expansion. And so, but then at the same time, people like Destiny say Trump is an isolationist. But then they cry that he's an imperialist that's going to take over everything like a Nazi. So we're going to have to do a bonus episode later in the week. Is Trump imperialist or isolationist? Deep dive into Canada, annexation, Greenland purchase, and taking back the Panama Canal. We're gonna have to do a bonus episode where we look at all that stuff. But now for our last segment, we do have some rapid fire news stories. Some of these we have the Zuckerberg and the Trudeau stuff in here, which is actually like main story news. I should have it in main story news, but we just had too much stuff this week to get through. So, but before we get into the rapid fire, let's watch some funny shorts. Screen share TV. All right, check this out. Well, he's dead. These guys are working on an icy roof.
Doing our thing, bro. You know, yo, fuck him.
Fuck him.
Oh yeah, we just out here doing our thing, bro.
This guy just falls off the roof.
Yo, fuck him. Oh yeah, we just out here doing our thing,
Yo,
bro.
fuck him.
You know,
he gone.
Yo, fuck him.
He did. Ain't no sense praying for him no more. He gone. All right, check this girl out. This is probably copyright music.
Come here.
Got me in a trance. DJ, turn it. Oh, it's buffering right at the worst time. Right at the worst time, it's buffering. This girl's drunk and she's trying to play musical. She's trying to play The Floor is Lava with these bar stools. You know it's not going to turn out good. You know that's not going to turn out good. Boom!
Alicia, come here.
Alicia, get over here, girl. She's coming. Oh, God.
Alicia, come
She
here.
only makes it 2 stools. Second stool. God.
Alicia, come here.
One more time. Watch this. Boom!
Alicia.
Poor Alicia. All right, check this out.
His nose, then he called me pretty and I felt his nose grow. I was riding on Pinocchio's nose, yeah. Damn, I thought I turned him on, but then I remembered what happens every time he lies. I started tearing up, cause all of these thoughts started racing through my mind. Like, I got hairy nipples, I got ashy knees. Then Pinocchio can see my insecurities, and I bet that's all he probably sees. Whoa. And I got hip dips, I got tired eyes, I got a hunchback, plus I'm a Gemini. Those are all the things that make me so ugly. Oh, I was riding on Pinocchio's nose, then he called me pretty and I felt his nose grow. I was riding on Pinocchio's nose.
I was riding on Pinocchio's nose. Then he called me pretty and I felt his nose grow.
Nose. Oh, I was riding on Pinocchio's nose. Then he called me pretty and I felt his nose grow. I was riding on Pinocchio's nose. No. Damn, I thought I turned him on. I was riding on Pinocchio's nose. Then he called me pretty and I felt his nose grow.
That's awesome. That's way better than Taylor Swift. That's way better than, dude. This chick needs a record deal. I like it. I was riding on Pinocchio's nose, then he called me pretty. Next. She's saying that from the heart. Josh friend Sandy the homie. Was that Sandra? Sandra. It's Sandra, not Sandy. Sandra the homie. He was lying about the pretty. Thanks, Dean. Thanks for explaining the joke to us. None of us understood it until you explained it. Thank you, Dean. She said, I got tired eyes. She did have tired eyes. When they got the bags under their eyes and they just look tired all the time, that's a little bit of a certain race of people thing. She said, I got hairy nipples. Okay. Let's do some rapid fire news, and we're going to end with some stories that are actually like main story news. But first, some small stories from The Guardian. Deus in Machina. So Deus ex machina is an act of God. In writing, a Deus ex machina is what we would call an ass pull. Basically, when the author writes in something that is like an act of God to save the hero. You could call it plot armor. You could call it an ass pull, meaning that, you know, like when, what's an example of a good ass pull? It's like when the heroes are all going to die because, like, I don't know, a bunch of people are like rushing to kill them, but then they just randomly happen to find a rocket launcher laying on the ground and they take it out on the enemy. That's called an ass pull or a deus ex machina, an act of God. Well, a Swiss church installs an AI-powered Jesus that they're calling deus in machina, which I don't even know what that means. Deus ex machina is an act of God. Deus in machina, what would that mean? An act in God? I don't know. Swiss church installs AI-powered Jesus. Peter's Chapel in Lucerne swaps out its priest to set up a computer and cables in a confession booth. The small, unadorned church has long ranked the oldest in Swiss city. Peter's Chapel has become synonymous with all that is new after it installed an artificial intelligence-powered Jesus capable of dialoguing in 100 different levels. This is a little crazy, a little scary here. Look at this Matrix Jesus. Matrix Jesus. It was really an experiment, said Marco Schmid, a theologian with the Peterskapelle Church. We wanted to see and understand how people react to an AI Jesus. Seems kind of blasphemous, if you ask me. What would they talk with him about? Would there be interest in talking to him? We're probably pioneers in this. Yeah, it's probably evil. I don't like that. I don't like that. That sounds like a bad idea. There's one church I've seen has a hologram Jesus that does the pastoral speeches. Both are God machine. Deus ex machina is an unexpected power or event saving a seemingly hopeless situation, especially as a contrived plot device in a player novel. Yeah, it means act of God. Or an ass pull. But then when I search Deus in machina meaning, it just shows me Deus ex machina. Yeah, it doesn't mean God machine, it means act of God. And Deus in machina apparently doesn't mean anything. They just made it up. Or maybe they think it means God in a machine. God in a machine? Hold on. Is it Latin? Deus meaning Latin. God. Yeah, machina means, dude, it gets so loud if I don't talk for a little while. I don't like that. Yeah, machina means the machine. Deus means God, but the expression is an act of God. The literal translation would be God of the machine. But the colloquial term means an act of God. So that's like what we were talking about the other night with literal translations. You're right about the literal translation, or the word for word translation, but the expression doesn't mean God in a machine. It means an act of God. I never heard of God machine term because that's not what it means. That's a word for word translation, but that's not how you translate it. That's what we were talking about the other day. The other night. All right. So that's crazy. AI Jesus in a confession booth in a Swiss, figures it's in Switzerland, in a Swiss church, augmented reality AI Jesus in a confession booth. So you confess your sins to AI. That's sacrilegious. That's blasphemy. I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, next. Here we go. Some this is my type of stuff right here. We're going to look at this. Red flags raised over ancient sea monster pulled from a Moroccan mine. A Morosaur species with saw-like teeth that was described by scientists in 2021 may have been based on forged fossils. Dang it. See, this is why you can't trust the fossil record. I'm not a dino denier, but I am an archaeology and carbon dating denier. And I agree with the dino deniers in that a lot of our ideas about dinosaurs are totally BS. The Brachiosaurus was a fake dinosaur. It was a brontosaurus body with a different, like a Dilophosaurus or something's head. And they just found the skull and they put it nearby and they found the brontosaurus body and they put a different head on a brontosaurus's body. They called it a Brachiosaurus. Brachiosaurus wasn't a real dinosaur. I think T-Rex wasn't a real dinosaur. I think that T-Rex skeleton is fake. I think they found like a toe bone and they recreated a whole dinosaur off of it. Not a dino denier. I just deny some of archaeology. Because they made up this freaking Moropodsaurus or whatever. What do they call it? What is it called? A mosasaur. Mosasaur species. Here's a picture of it. Allegedly. Allegedly, this is a picture of it. A never-seen mosasaur species, first described in 2021, may be based on a forged fossil. So we're doing some... we got a video of it? Oh, it's going to be an ad. Scientists behind the original study described the species named Xenodens calminicari from a partial jawbone and 4 sharp teeth. So they found a piece of a jawbone and 4 teeth, and they made this out of it. They found a piece of a jawbone and 4 teeth, and they got all of this out of it. Turns out that's fake. It's a Komodo dragon. It's basically just a Komodo dragon. See, I didn't read this article. I'm reading it now. I thought they were going to say they found Leviathan. Nope. Hippopotamosaurus. Bro. I'm down with the brontosauruses. Sauropods. I'm down with the dang beast of the earth. The king of man, they called it. The behemoth. The brontosaurus. The long neck, long tail, and a neck like a cedar tree. They would drag rocks around. They were epic. But this freaking jawbone and teeth they found is just a big Komodo dragon. And isn't it convenient, or isn't it interesting? It's called a Komodo dragon. Look at that. That's a dinosaur, Freddy. That's a dinosaur right there. An alligator is a dinosaur. Anyway, enough of this. Let's move on. A little entertainment news. This has got me a little hype. I'm kind of hype, but I'm also nervous. From Screen Rant. Stephen King's Midworld tease is even more exciting with Mike Flanagan's Dark Tower show on the horizon. Mike Flanagan is the guy who made Dr. Sleep and the remake of Gerald's Game, the movie Gerald's Game. Those are 2 Stephen King books, and those are 2 good movie adaptations of Stephen King's book. The Gerald's Game, a husband and a wife are getting into some kinky sex, so he handcuffs his wife to the bed, and then the guy dies. And so she's stuck handcuffed to the bed. Meanwhile, there's a peeping Tom weirdo guy outside the cabin who's like looking in the window, and he slowly comes into the thing, and she's handcuffed to the bed, and she has to figure out how to get out of being handcuffed to the bed because this creeper's slowly getting closer and closer to her. Freaky story. Good movie adaptation from this Mike Flanagan guy. Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining, also Stephen King books, and he did a really I didn't think the movie was that great, but as far as adaptations of Stephen King books go, it's one of the best. Because usually if you read the story and then you watch the movie sucks. Like The Shining compared to the book, good movie, but compared to the book, garbage. It was good, but the old It and the new It I liked. But usually Stephen King book to movie adaptations suck. And but this is exciting. They made a Dark Tower movie with Idris Elba playing Roland. Roland is a mix between Western and what's the word for like Camelot and King Arthur, Knights of the Round Table. What's the word for that? Medieval fantasy. So Roland is like, think of the Knights of the Round Table mixed with a Western guy. He's called a gunslinger. Instead of a sword, he uses guns. And he's like a Western guy, but he's also like a knight of Midworld. But they fight with guns instead of swords. And the Dark Tower series is 7 books, huge series. People talk about Harry Potter. They talk about Lord of the Rings. They talk about Game of Thrones when they're talking about epic tales that are like a whole bunch of big books, these large epic fantasies tales. A lot of people don't mention the best one of all of them, which is the Dark Tower series from Stephen King. It's amazing. Covers everything from robots to zombies to vampires to zombies. Did I say zombies already? Talking animals, a train that's ran by AI that talks to them and tries to kill them. Amazing, amazing epic story. Better than Lord of the Rings, better than Game of Thrones, better than Harry Potter. The Dark Tower is the best epic. I'll stand on that. Fight me if you disagree. But anyway, they made a movie where Idris Elba plays Roland. Now, I like Idris Elba, and he did a decent job, but it's kind of weird when you've read 5,000 pages of Roland. You've seen drawings of him. You've seen pictures of him on the cover of the book. Roland is white, but they had to put a black guy in the role of Roland, a Western medieval guy. When you think of medieval knights, when you think of Western cowboys, this is not what you think of. No offense, Idris Elba, good actor, but it's just weird. And then Walter, the man in black, the Dark Wizard, is played by Matthew McConaughey. And the movie that they made for the Dark Tower, they made one movie. They took all 7 books, like 5,000 pages of an epic story, and they put it into one movie. And it was garbage. Garbage. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I was so pissed. Anyway, this Mike Flanagan guy says he's going to be making a Dark Tower series. And it might be awesome. I'm hoping it's going to be awesome and it's not garbage. And also, on top of that, Stephen King has teased. And yes, I know Stephen King's a liberal. He's a degenerate. He's a weirdo. But he writes good stories. Okay? Separate the art from the artist. Stephen King has teased that he's going to be writing about Midworld again, which is the Dark Tower world. So I'm pretty hype about this. I hope it turns out good. Screen Rant has been known to put out some false information, though, so we'll have to see. DEI Dark Tower movie from the Dark Tower. Yeah, it was garbage. It was the only worse movies than that is the Mario movie with was it John Leguizamo? The old Mario movie was bad, and then Dragon Ball Evolution. Those are like the 3 worst adaptations ever. Anyway, I hope this comes true and it's a good series. We got to go quicker through this. I got to go in like 15 minutes. Little space news before we get into Trudeau and Zuck. For the space deniers, you're going to love this. World's first wooden satellite deploys from the ISS to demonstrate cleaner spacecraft technology. Linosat will demonstrate how well wood withstands the rigors of the space environment. Bruh, is this a real picture or is this CGI? Apparently, we now have a wooden satellite orbiting the Earth. I don't know. Where's my space deniers? Where's my flat earthers? Where's my moon landing deniers? What do you guys think? You think this is real? You think we have a wooden satellite orbiting the Earth? I don't know. Don't put in your pockets your lucky quarter. All right. The nerd is crying. Shut up. So that's interesting. We got a wooden satellite. All right. Let's just burn through these two real quick. Justin Trudeau has resigned as the Prime Minister of Canada. Horrible guy. And he was calling out Trump. He was calling out Trump's policies when Trump said he was going to annex Canada. That's in our last segment that we're going to have to do on a different day. But Trudeau said, there's no way. I'm not going to let you do it, Trump. And then he resigns. I guess he got scared of Trump. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced his resignation from CNN. We're not going to play this video. We don't have time. We're going to, that was from CNN. BBC, who might replace Trudeau as Liberal Party leader? Could be this lady, former Deputy PN Chrystia Freeland, former central banker Mark Carney, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry, Francois Philippe Champagne. And Easy's from Canada. He says this is the guy. I've heard a lot of based Canadians are saying this is the guy they want. This guy's based. They like him. I don't know a whole lot about him. I was going to read more about him today, but I don't have time. I got to hurry up. It'll be made out of Legos net. Dude, a Lego satellite? That would be lit. Seaweed satellite? Needs more lemon pledge. Yeah, they got too much lacquer on that thing. Too much lacquer. So apparently this is the guy that the base Canadians want. And we were going to read about him, but I don't have time. I got to wrap this up in the next 10, 15 minutes. Nothing gayer sounding than Francois. Yeah, it's a French thing, you know. I told you nothing good comes from France, especially names. Francois Philippe. Philippe is almost as bad as, but apparently he's kind of based. So former businessman, international trade specialist, another liberal minister said to be eyeing the parties. So do they not have like a Republican Party in Canada? They're gonna when we take over. Ain't gonna be no more Liberal Party. We're gonna see a whole lot of red. But Canadians, there are some based Canadians, like the truck protest, that was based, you know. Their kisses are decent. Oh, the French kiss? Yeah, you're right about that, Dean. But I don't even know if that really started in France or if they just call it that. But probably because they were all with the sexual liberation and all the degeneracy and all the feminism and Marxism and all that stuff. All the freaking commies went to France to study. Not all of them. But remember when we did Dissecting a Dictator series? And a running theme with a lot of these dictators is they would get banished and then they would build up their like base while they were banished. And then they would go to France and go to school in France to learn about Marxism. So that was a common thing amongst, you know, Pol Pot, Mao, Lenin, Stalin. Like all of them went to France to study Marxism. And then they get banished and they build up an army and then they come back and they take over. Christy Clark, a former provincial premier. I don't know what that means. MP Chandra, a lot of women. But I'm hearing that this is the guy that they want, that the based ones want. MP Chandra Arya, businessman Frank Bayliss. So I guess Canada is currently prime ministerless. Prime ministerless, I guess. Is that a word? I just made it up. And last but not least, before I got to dip, guys, Meta is revoking its fact checkers and replacing them with community notes. And now Mark Zuckerberg is acting like, well, the political spectrum has changed and our fact checkers were too politically biased and we're just going along with the times. Bullshit, Mark. You're afraid of Trump. You got called into Congress. Trump threatened you to put you in jail if you keep this crap up, affecting elections, stifling the speech of people who disagree with the DEI and the leftist propaganda. But he went on The Couch. I forget what the show's called, but it's like The Couch on Fox and Friends or something like that. He went on Fox and did an interview, not him, but like his chief CEO or something like that went on Fox, and they're asking all these questions, and the guy's, he's doing very basic answers, but good answers. But then the lady says, well, the one thing I want to ask about is bullying. Are you going to keep in place your measures to stop bullying? Because a lot of young kids off themselves because of bullying on the internet. So you need to keep the bullying stuff in place. And I thought she was going to ask a based question, this fake conservative lady. I told you there's no such thing as a woman conservative. But she says, well, what about the bullying? We need to make sure that there's still measures to stop the bullying. I say BS to that. Most of my bans on Facebook, I probably had like 10 bans on Facebook. A couple of them for misinformation. One of them for supporting a terrorist because I said Kyle Rittenhouse was innocent and I put a picture of him blowing a dude's arm off. But they didn't get me for like graphic imagery. They got me for supporting domestic terrorism. That's why they banned me for 30 days on Facebook, because I posted a meme of Rittenhouse shooting a dude, I said something in support of Rittenhouse. I said, he's innocent, he's being attacked, and he's defending himself. And I was right. But they never revoked the ban. I posted about Hunter Biden's laptop, and I got banned for that for 30 days. I was right about that too. Not just me, but everybody who was talking about it. But we got banned for saying these things because it was misinformation, and I'm supporting a terrorist, and I'm spreading misinformation. And then when it comes out that we were right, they don't revoke the bans. But the majority of my bans on Facebook, probably like 80%, have come from bullying. And this lady saying, well, we need to keep the bullying stuff in. Shut up, lady. Take that emotional bullcrap somewhere else. People need to toughen up. They need to thicken up their skins. We need to shame people more. We need a little bit of bullying. There's a healthy level of bullying that we need in the world because people are too soft. If your kid offs themselves because somebody was mean to them on Facebook, maybe that's your fault as a parent for letting your kid go on Facebook. And Florida has actually banned, we didn't even talk about that. I wish I had that story in here. Florida banned social media for, I think, kids under 14. And I think 14 to 16, you need parental position. And then after 16, you can go on social media freely, which I think is a good move. I don't think anybody under 16, or whatever line we draw for minors and adults, whatever hard line we draw for what separates a minor from adult, if we're going to say they're children, they're minors, if you're a minor, you don't get to go on social media. Nope. If you play online games, you don't get to be in voice chat. You don't get to message people. There could be some sort of email thing for teachers because everybody maybe not even that. Why can't the teacher just talk to them at school? You don't need an email. You don't need social media. You don't need a Facebook. You don't need a TikTok. You don't need an X when you're a minor, when you're a kid. And Freddie, why are you trying to get banned, dude? Are you dumb? Are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? So he's saying he's fixing the community notes. And apparently, from what I've seen, the bullying is coming back. We're allowed to call women household objects now. We're allowed to call trans people it's. We're allowed to make fun of pronouns. So the bullying is coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Meta might be cool again. But I don't think Zuck is doing this because he's had a change of heart. He's doing it because he's afraid of Trump, and Trump threatened to put him in jail if he tries any of this crap again. So let's listen to this, and then I got to head out.
Hey, everyone.
Hey,
I want to
everyone.
talk about
Hi.
something important today. Because
Hi,
it's
yeah.
time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe
Oh,
this
sure you
today.
did.
But
And
a
then
lot has
Trump
happened
came,
over
and
the
then
last several years.
Bush
There's
5
been
years ago when
widespread
Trump was
debate about
president. No, you
potential
did.
harms
Bullshit.
from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech.
Yeah, that's true, Matthew. That was the origin of Facebook, was basically so college students could meet up for parties and rate women. That's accurate.
So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platform.
Yeah, quit bullshitting and say, I'm afraid Trump's going to put me in jail if I don't say this.
More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and
Curly-headed.
replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the
And
US.
keep it clean.
After Trump first got elected in 2016,
Curly-headed F.
the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the
did.
fact checkers have just been too politically biased.
They're your fact checkers, Mark. You hired them. They work for Meta. You put them in place and told them what to say, you liar.
And have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US.
They?
So over
You
the
mean
next
you.
couple of months, we're going to phase in a more
Zero accountability.
comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a
We get to talk about the illegals and the its again.
movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions
Local
and
politician
shut
buddy
out
actually
people with
quit
different
politics to
ideas.
work for this clown?
And it's gone
Wow.
too far.
Was he a Democrat, Nada? Was he based, and then when he started working for him, he became degenerate? What's that around his neck? I think that's what I was trying to figure out. It looks like, is he a Jew? I'm not using that pejoratively. I'm saying, is he Jewish? Because it looks like one of those, there's like a Jewish symbol. It's like a scroll or a tablet or something. I think it might be one of those.
So I want to make sure,
or it's some sort of like Illuminati, I don't know,
that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how
Yeah, Jet. He does seem like he's trying to get more base. Like he's doing jujitsu, homesteading, and raising animals and farming, and he got rich very young, and he probably gets pulled around to different. He's got to it's probably. I don't want to say it's tough because I doubt anything in his life is difficult, but. I'm sure there's a lot of push and pull from different sides, and it's probably difficult to navigate that and not have everybody hate you. He loves his ribs. But I don't think he's doing this because he's getting more based. Maybe he's seeing a shift in the political spectrum, and he's trying to he's seeing the pendulum swinging back, the Overton window moving back to the right, but really what it is profit incentive. He just wants to do what he has to do to make as much money as possible. And I think there's an element of he's afraid Trump's going to put him in jail if he doesn't tighten up.
How we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes.
And fake reports happen. We had some losers in the Discord who are going to report my Discord.
Reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off.
Okay, we can't watch all this. I actually got to go, guys. I got to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Anunnaki the One helped us exceed our goal for the super chats for today. So thank you for that, Anunnaki the One. Matthew Nada, Freddie, Jeff, Lord Spike, Dean, William, Matthew. I think I already said Matthew. Cecil. Everybody. Rome. I didn't see Amanda here tonight, but everybody. Thank you guys for watching. We are going to do a bonus episode this week. I'm not sure when. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. And tomorrow morning, Bible studies. Also, I'm going to put up a poll. I need you guys to participate in a poll. After I finish reading Isaiah, I need to know if you guys think I should switch versions. I'm not going to give you a lot of options. There's two options, basically. We can do ESV or we can do KJV. Because I'm wondering if it will be more simple for the audience to understand and it will be easier for me to read clearly and quickly if we switch to doing the Bible readings from the ESV, the English Standard Version. It's a much more clear, modern, simple writing, and the ESV is a good version. I like it a lot. And so I want to put up a poll, and you guys can vote. Should we stick to the... Okay, well, watch this. Watch this. There, 24 hours. Have fun for 24 hours. Then now you don't have to worry about the Bible study tomorrow, Freddie. You won't be able to join it. You get a 24-hour ban. So, ESV or KJV? I'm going to keep going in Isaiah with the KJV because we started with it. And we'll be done, probably in about a week, we'll be done with Isaiah. And I want to know if you guys think that I should switch to the ESV because it'll be simpler to understand, simpler for me to read. Now, the only problem is if I use the ESV, I can't really do the Strong's Concordance stuff because that's set up to be used with the KJV. It could work with the ESV, but a lot of if words are different, then it won't work with the Strong's Concordance. And I have that thing and I want to use it. So I'm going to do a poll. If you guys think we should switch to the ESV, let me know in the poll. Watch for that. It'll be up there in a little while tonight. And then we will be back doing the Bible studies in the morning. And we're going to have a bonus episode of TDC sometime this week where we just talk about Trump, isolationist or imperialist. We're going to look at the deal with the annexation of Canada, taking back the Panama Canal, the history of the Panama Canal, and the purchase of Greenland, what all that means, what could happen. We'll do that sometime this week. It'll just be like our episode. But I appreciate the Bible studies. Use whatever you're comfortable with. KJV, not only for Christianity, but also teaches proper English literature. Yeah, I do like the KJV, but I was listening to somebody last night, and they said that you shouldn't just focus solely on the KJV because there's a lot, that was the Textus Receptus. Some of the newer translations, we have thousands more manuscripts, so they're more comprehensive. But then some people, I know there's KJV only people who would say that they added stuff in those. So I don't know. I'm just going to let the audience decide because I could do either one. I like both of them. Or we can switch, change it up every now and then. But I got to get out of here, guys. Thank you for hanging out. God bless. Dreaded Conservative Show. Hit the like button on your way out. Kicking the week off Monday night, kicking the week off right. The world's a crazy place. I just report on it. If you like it, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell everybody. I'm out of here, guys. I'll catch you in the morning. God bless. Peace. Aramaic version? No, I'm not doing an original Aramaic version. All right, later.